Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. Another big tumble here for North American stock futures this morning as we see a big tumble in crude oil prices to the downside once again. Continued fears over the negative effect of the coronavirus on global economies also dragging markets to the downside this morning. Crude oil set to start the week with the May contract having an 11 handle in front of it for the first time since 1999. The June contract, meanwhile, $22. So massive spread. And this is all due to massive oversupply that continues and lower demand because of the coronavirus as well. Individually, obviously got to be looking at energy stocks this morning as a group, down across the board, nearly 10%. We have some of the big tech names also to the downside this morning ahead of a big earnings week coming up this week with some of them set to report. We'll get to those. Not much on the economic front as far as data is concerned. Monday, typically a light day for economic data. We did have some inflation and current account data out in Europe this morning that did come in to the downside as well. It's Monday, April 20th. TraderTV.live starts now. All right, there we go. Yeah, big time negativity right across the board here. Red numbers top to bottom for North American stock futures here. 1.8% for the S&P, the Dow more than 2%. NASDAQ holding up a little bit better at this point. You can see TSX futures pointing to the downside sharply as well, 2% plus here in Toronto. Obviously heavily weighted with energy names that are going to be under pressure. Brazil open already, trading down nearly 3%. Yeah, look at the bottom there. Crude oil 11.7%. And that is, in fact, the June contract at this point. Gold slightly to the upside, but going to be all about the energy names today, guys. Good morning. Neil is back with us after a couple of days off last week. Here we go, guys. Back to the downside. I mean, this is pretty surprising for crude oil this morning.
Yeah, I guess I'm bad luck for the markets there. I mean, you talked about that spread. It's absolute insanity. Certainly something we haven't seen in terms of price for at least like 30-something years now. And with that $11 spread, it's telling a pretty grim story about what storage is looking like. So there's a host of names to be watching, including like a Halliburton, which just had earnings. I like to be looking at Oxy. It's probably going to be front and center for me. I want to dive into the numbers, and I regretted missing everyday trading that I did because still solid numbers across the board for the company. The top traders by market here coming in 16,000 on Friday. New York, Amex 16, London 14,800, Paris 14,000, Germany 13,000, NASDAQ 11,000. You'll see Amsterdam down there as well. So, the story kind of continues. Maybe not the massive numbers that we saw last month, but certainly fantastic numbers across the board, Sean.
Yeah, exactly. Asif, yeah, you're right. We're ready to go here. We're energetic this morning. Neil's going to be looking at Oxy. I'm going to be looking at XOM. We've got Airplane Jane on board about to come through right now. I'd hit the little airplane thing if I can find it. Wait a minute. Where is it? Where is my airplane? There it is. Airplane Jane coming through, guys. Join us all day. We're going till 12 o'clock. Chris Vermillion from the Technical Traders here as well. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Neil, you hit the nail on the head here. I got XOM up, down 7%. Shout out to Kevin O'Leary talking about XOM when he was on a couple weeks ago. But yeah, we're heading south side. I'm going to be shorting a lot of these names. I can't believe oil here, guys. I mean, this is the current contract that Brendan was talking about for May. It's going to be hard to see this on this. This is a different platform, but 38% down to 11.20. We ticked below, almost below 11. 11.05 right here was the low. But yeah, not good. There's nowhere to put this oil. We'll talk about that when we get back, Brendan. But yeah, it should be an exciting day. I've never seen anything like this one. I may have to fill the car up here after work.
Yeah, Sean, you were saying last week too, there was rumors flying around that the U.S. government might start paying companies to leave the stuff in the ground because it's, there's just nowhere to put it at this point, which is amazing when you consider where we were with crude oil and now where it is now. We're going to get to It's Airplane Jane coming up in a sec. Let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Valeria first.
Hello everyone and good morning. Welcome to the live trading show. Thanks for joining us and I wish you a great trading day. Hopefully we'll make it better. Please hit the thumbs up and support us, and of course don't forget to subscribe for our channel. And guys, if you're watching us from Facebook, please like and share our video. And if you're looking for more active chat, join us on YouTube. I'll send you the link. Well, I'll see you later. Back to traders.
Thank you very much. Yeah, going to be an interesting day, guys. We have lots to get to as far as individual names coming up this morning. Let's bring in, it's Airplane Jane joining us on Monday. It's been a couple of weeks. Good to see you, Jane. Hope all is well. Here we go again with energy names right off the bat here. Oil to the downside in a big way.
Yes, definitely. Well, this comes as no surprise, right? Everybody's at home. Nobody's filling up their cars. Nobody's driving anywhere, right? And even though there was the slow back and the cutback of the oil production, that's not going to increase the demand that isn't there right now. So there's definitely a surplus. It was expected to happen almost. But the market will act irrationally. And so as we've seen, the market bounced 30% in the past 30 days. People are like, oh yeah, it's rebounding. I just saw this weekend that there was over 2,200 articles. Hey, everything is getting back to normal. Well, it doesn't really seem like it, and it kind of feels like maybe the news sentiment is trying to plant a seed that everything is getting back to normal with the stock market, which I am not a believer.
Yeah, I think we have to be very, aware of that, going forward here, especially in the next couple of days, possibly with, these numbers. They are starting to kind of flatten out. If you talk about New York, you talk about some of the U.S. States, but, there is still that worry of what is the overall effect of this going to be, and no one really knows because we've never been through anything like this before. I wanted to ask you about these energy companies this morning. Are there any, specific names that you kind of have your finger on or are looking at in the pre-market here with this big drop in crude?
Well, both Sean and Neil mentioned two that I really like to watch, XOM as well as Oxy. I mean, I'm looking at XOM potentially down to 34.45, right? So that could be a weak target, or it could end up being like that for today. We get a massive, massive drop, right? And we could see Oxy go down to 9 and then even all the way down to 8. Like, it could get really nasty and really ugly. And if you notice, in the time that we did have that bounce up on oil, on the oil futures, the market bounced as well. Now, what happens many times, right? Whenever there's a major downturn in the market, they always take it back up so they can sell into it, right? And I just did a video this past weekend of this past 30 days has been a major short squeeze. I've got short volume that I've tracked since February 14th, and the short volume has been over 60% for some weeks, and that just creates that short squeeze, just like with Tesla.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think on a regular, Monday morning, we come in and see this kind of move to the downside. You kind of write it off as nothing, but there's such a spread between, the May contract and the June contract that it's significant, and people aren't used to seeing this. However, I think we have to be careful here because the volume that's been done in the pre-market on the May contract versus the June contract is not even comparable. It was over 150,000 contracts for the June contract, whereas May was sitting around 30,000. So it'll be interesting, to say the least, as far as what we get, as far as moves in this group go. I want to bring in Neil and Sean here and talk about some more trades.
Hey Jane, yeah, thank you for joining us today on a Monday, and it's this oil is going to be the name of the game here. It looks like you mentioned XOM to 35. That's why I exploited that money there. That would be a great short if that were to come through. When you give predictions like this, Oxy to 8, XOM to 34, 35. Do you have a rough time frame in mind when you give some of those calls out? Obviously, we're not talking about today dropping $6 or $7 on XOM, but is there a time frame for that, or you're just looking at a larger scale, maybe the daily charts, and gives you maybe a week, 2 weeks out? What are some of the things you're looking at when you make those kind of calls?
Yeah, potentially within the week. We're looking at it. You can see, hey, if we go ahead and I'm looking at the XOM chart now. You break that 39.10, the 20 simple moving average on the day. That's going to be the midline for Bollinger Bands, right? So that can sometimes be a good indicator. Hey, we're below it.
Go to my
it's
chart.
Bearish now, and looking at it as well. If you look at that chart, 35, 34, yeah, that's going to be sort of that support area for where we had that V bottom on the daily chart. So it's no wonder that we could go all the way back down there as support.
Okay, yeah, I have the daily chart up right here, and yeah, we were just mentioning that on the show here to show you guys the 34, 35 level. Okay, I like it. I'm going to be short XOM off the open here. Neil, did you have something for Jane?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at Oxy. My question would be, when you're thinking about that support level at the bottom there, we could get that little breakdown, whether it's 8 or 9 area in something like an Occidental. What would it take, do you think, in the next couple of days to reverse that in any direction? I mean, I was looking at some levels to get out of a short-term short. Here around 12, something around 15 to 40, but obviously on a bigger term like a swing trade, what would indicate to you that maybe that's not going to happen for people looking for risk levels?
Well, I mean, you also want to look at that volume, right? If you are starting to see that you are going to get a massive volume spike on a 5-minute chart, on a 15-minute chart, on a daily chart, pay attention, because that volume is going to potentially at the top signify a reversal. If it goes above it, hey, it's a breakout. They were buying. Vice versa at the bottom. If you start to see that massive volume spike at the bottom, then hey, you know what? It could be potentially reversing, and that's the bottom to get in. But you want to have that confirmation. You want to have it, if it's at the bottom in a large volume candlestick on a daily, you want to see it completely break above that candlestick or completely break down below, so that you are watching and you're waiting for it to break. Don't front run the volume, right? Let it tell you the best time to get in. I want to give you 2 other ones that I'm watching today too for potential longs: Netflix and Amazon.
Netflix and Amazon
could actually run back up and test that high of the year. They also have earnings coming up this week, and Netflix as well could go and be a strong run up into earnings.
Yeah, actually a big earnings week. I think it was like 70 of the 500 names are coming to the S&P, that is. So a big one. Netflix, which I know both John and I love, actually going to be checking out that Michael Jordan.
Tiger King, baby.
You keep talking about Tiger King, John.
Tiger King, baby.
I like Designated Survivor. Check out Designated Survivor.
That's not a bad show. I've seen
that. Process of the market and politics.
Ooh, of the market.
There you go. That's actually a pretty good show. I've only seen 1 season of it, however, so I should maybe dig back in there. Thanks a lot, Jane. It's good to have you on. Can't wait to have you back.
Thank you, Jane.
Great to see you guys. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Will do.
We're trying. Okay, yeah, there it is. Amazon. I mean, look, those calls are great calls.
All right, guys, we'll jump over to, yeah, there we go, Sean, all you.
No, I was going to say Amazon, Netflix, a couple calls there. Coronavirus plays, obviously, near all-time highs or at all-time highs. I'm hearing some problems with some Amazon shipments. They're getting a little overwhelmed with all the orders, but I guess that's a good thing, Brendan.
Yeah, let's continue on here, guys. Lots of names to get to. We spoke about obviously a few of the energy names there with Jane. I wanted to mention MRO, Marathon as well, down about 8% right now. This thing's all the way down to just above $3. I think it was at last I checked. But another one that's just getting crushed this morning. I mean, this entire group, SM Energy, another one, little one that is moving around in the pre-market. I mean, there's Apache, there's WPX, all kinds of names as far as that group goes. So we'll have a look at many of those. Let's move on to Halliburton here. Not only getting hurt because of crude prices, but they reported earnings as well. The company said they earned 31 cents per share in their latest quarter, 7 cents above estimate. Revenue also beat expectations just ever so slightly. However, they did say that going forward, obviously the crude problem is going to be an issue for them as well. So Halliburton, another one to look at here this morning, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you had to pick a name out of the hat and there somehow miraculously was a bounce, maybe this would be where you play it. I'm not really looking for that, to be perfectly honest with you. I was just mentioning in chat there, I like Apache through 750, and I'm looking at Oxy. I don't know that with all of these names under pressure that Halliburton's the one to jump in and catch this one to the downside on the sled. I think you'll get a bigger and more aggressive move south side in some of the names that we've been mentioning relative to Halliburton. But that's just my take. Somehow there's a bounce maybe in the next upcoming days. Halliburton would be a nice place to jump in.
Yeah, Oxy breaking through 12 is a good one. Yeah, Halliburton comes out, they do a better report than expected, but of course, you know, I mean, it's going to be hard to absorb what exactly is happening in this marketplace if you're a Halliburton. You're an offshore driller. This is what's going to, I mean, you're going to get pumped. There is that story out there, Brendan talked about it, where they're going to pay thinking about. Trump's trying to think outside the box a little bit, so creative on that one. But can we pay to have the oil stay in the ground instead of pulling it out and trying to find a place to put it? So Halliburton, yeah, it's pretty ugly, guys. Here's the day range. I mean, we don't even really need to discuss this too much. This is back late February. Bang. I mean, Halliburton was $4, so can it go back there? Yes, it can. I'm looking at a 650 break or so on Halliburton. You know, we zoom this out the last couple of days. This is kind of the bottom there, 680, 690. So I think we'll go short through 680 here. Remember, a lot of these stocks are going to be SSRs, so you're going to need to definitely check with your broker, make sure that they have some shares available. The minute you go 10% down, you can no longer cross the bid and get short. You're going to have to wait for some action on the offer. Look at this, guys, though, for level 2 readers here. There is a big order, 600,000 or so on the bid for XOM for Halliburton at $6.90. Quick look at the locator before we go back to Brendan. Eros, we'll get to that. CPE, MRO, ACB. I mean, basically, all of these are energy. You got a little bit. Eros is that Indian company there on a takeover. ACB. Obviously, weed, we'll talk about that, happy 420. And then as we go down the list, I don't see Halliburton, but there is a big bid here, Brendan.
Yeah, ACB with the buy there on 420, interesting. Sean, Disney to the downside, just noticed breaking further to the downside this morning. It was about 3% now more. They announced over the weekend they're going to suspend pay for more than 100,000 workers, saving them approximately $500 million a month. They also got a UBS downgrade on the day today, so Disney already pushing to the lows here, Sean.
Yeah, there's 103 was a level here. If we pull back to a 5-minute chart or so, let's go 10-minute, you'll see 103. Yeah, look, I mean, Disney can't get out of its own way here. Every single thing. Normally, low oil would be great, right? Easier to travel, cheaper to put gas in your car, so you can drive to Disneyland, et cetera, et cetera. But the problem is, no one can attend these parks and they're closed. So there you go. So 103, this is that magical level. I don't know why my charts aren't going back here, but here we go. 103 right here. We bounced off 103 back on the 15th. We bounced off 103 again on the 16th. We top out 103 is the high on the 16th and 17th. Then we come in today and now we're bouncing around that level again. So I would say for me, let's go back to a 1-minute chart here. Disney is kind of a nothing play for me until we break below this 103, which may happen right off the open here. The low today is 102.80. I think if it breaks that low, I will go short and then use maybe 103 as an out. So it's like a really tight stop here. But Disney's been a funny stock, man. I mean, some days it goes and some days it doesn't. So for me right now, Disney's kind of hands off. 400,000 shares, though, isn't horrible.
Yeah, it's good, Vaughn. I just went back a little further just to show you. Sean talked about 103. This is why you can go a few sessions back and see continual pivots around that price, even go back to the 13th. So, you know, like Sean said, you play the key levels. If something isn't really necessarily in play, I don't know that news really makes it a big play today outside of using that 103 area, which, you know, we're trading barely above as we speak. So in a flush, you could get that coming in almost immediately.
All right, guys, let's go to Walmart. Walmart also just had a look, moving to the downside a little bit here. They said March sales were up 20% month over month, so not a bad number there as far as the month over month goes. All due to, obviously, a lot of people still stockpiling because of the coronavirus. The company also said it will start to require store employees to wear face masks. However, not really paying attention to that news this morning. I mean, we're down a little bit here for Walmart. We were talking a little bit at the end of last week, guys, about Costco kind of benefiting from this. Walmart, another one you would think would be in that category as well.
Yeah, it's really tough to trade Walmart, though. I find it's in a very much of a range. You just saw the chart there. Maybe that's what, Neil, you were going to talk about. We're just in a range here, and look, the market's down quite bad. Well, not bad. I mean, 2% today. Walmart's going to be opening roughly flat. I just find it's going to be a hard stock to trade. If it does break through, its all-time high is 132.97. So I don't know if that's what you're looking at, Neil, but maybe a 133 break. I don't know if we get there. I don't really want to trade Walmart today, to be honest.
Yeah, the problem with Walmart is you get that couple of sessions ago, like you mentioned, when you got that high, and then look at the last couple of days. It's been a relatively tight range at Friday, and then a tight pre-market range here. So the only thing you can work with is maybe if the market has any kind of of real selling to it. It's 2% down now, but you get a bigger move, you can be shorting in front of that high, or at least certainly, shorting in front of what you had was a bit of a pivot here at 131.75 to 132 if you don't want to give it all the way to that 133 top. So that might be an idea in Walmart. It's not the first name on my list today, but certainly you got to watch almost everything that could be non-energy that might give you some trades. I know that's going to be our focus today, but that's not the only thing in the market.
All right, guys, let's jump over to the first of the drug makers here. Novartis coming out this morning saying they've won FDA approval to conduct a trial with their malaria drug, hydrochloroquine, which is the one that Trump has been touting at pretty much every single briefing that he gives on a daily basis now as the one that could be a potential treatment for the coronavirus, guys. So Novartis, not a lot of volume, I just noted here in the pre-market, but we are higher on that news.
I mean, Novartis was $70 a couple weeks ago, and now you're up to 90 plus and change here. So do I think Novartis is a great long-term hold? Yes, obviously. Anything in these drug spaces, we're not even near all-time highs yet. We've topped out here. We dropped to $70 a couple times, including this last time, and now you're making that move back up. Look, I mean, for me, these plays are kind of hands-off. 150,000 shares, not huge. Decent spread. It's only 2 cents right now, so it's decently to trade for us. But yeah, you know what? It's too headline risk for me. I don't really want to trade this name until they actually do get something. We saw remdesivir with Gilead, the same kind of malaria drug type of stuff. So no surprise that it is having some effects. The trials have been so minimal on these names that I think I'm going to stay away until we see a little bit more.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it was running into resistance and maybe there's something you can play, but I don't really see much I like, and it's just as much the volume story as anything else. Let it open up. If we get a nice range in the first 5-10 minutes, it could be worth playing off of. It's on the quote board, so we're going to be watching Novartis. I just don't know that there's any kind of pre-market action play that I'll have ready to go. Yeah,
a few other names might be a little bit more exciting when it comes to the COVID-type related news this morning. Hydroxychloroquine is the name of that treatment. Hotel and cruise operators are down as a group, pretty much 3% right across the board. A little bit of news when it comes to Norwegian. They hired Goldman Sachs to explore some financing alternatives, including what they're saying is a possible sale or stake sale of the actual company. So NCLH are down 4%, guys, but it is kind of grinding to the upside.
I actually didn't really look at NCLH much today. Did you, Neil? I was looking at Carnival and American myself. And just to give you a quick before I throw it.
Yeah, I always look at Carnival, Sean.
Yeah, exactly. This is 12.10, 12.11. There was some levels back here the last couple of days that we bounced off 12.25. I think if we can get up there, then I like to break this 12.25 bottom from Friday to go long. So I do like CCL long using 12 as a bottom. I mean, obviously with this market, we're going to see what it does. We're coming back upside a little bit right now, but if this market can get it back above 28, 25 or so, I like CCL for a long.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at that same 12 level. Maybe you give maybe 1180 to 12 is a bit of a support area on CCL. You talked about NCLH there, Brendan, so we'll have a look at that one. There was a pivot area at the $12 even, so if you go back to last week, I guess it was an interesting level. We're trying to break above it right now, so you know what? The volume might not be fantastic or gigantic, and I know CCL has been a good one, but NCLH through 12 could actually be the same type of play as Carnival. It's almost just sort of a pick your poison if we can break to the upside there. I mean, the futures are basing out and have stopped moving. Bounce up here could get interesting off that name.
All right, guys, another vaccine-related name here this morning. NovaBay Pharmaceuticals, they announced that they've signed an agreement to distribute COVID-19 antibody rapid point-of-care tests. So been hearing a lot about these antibody tests that are starting to become more and more important as we get closer to some countries trying to get back to work and trying to get people out of their houses. So NBY, the first one here, NovaBay, up 115% this morning on this news that they may have one of the first antibody tests.
Yeah, this is an important thing. I'm going to flush myself down the toilet in front of you because they always go to that shot when I want to use it. But look, I tried this short retracement here. It might have just been too strong of a name. I kind of mentioned in the chat while I was short Codex and NBY at the time that just felt a little bit stronger. Took it off here at 162. We got an average price of 154. Took it off at 162 when it broke. Now it looks like it wants to test that high. So, alert to the 170 break, which could happen. I prefer this if it happens after the open, but this one might be taking place basically right off of the bat, testing that pre-market top on NBY. And you hop to the daily chart, and it's going to give you an interesting level, right here at $1.75. So I don't love the 170 break because you go on the daily, you have 175 coming in. So watch what happens right here as it tests that 5-penny range.
Yeah, it's doing it right now. I mean, it's breaking through 173 and change right now, NBY. We're going to get ready to throw to Brendan back at the desk still. Oxy looks like it wants to try to break 12 as well. So I'm just putting that out to you guys. This was that level that we just talked about on the show. 12 is a monster level. I just want to bring that up before we threw back. You do see some big buyers here as well. Oil's trying to rebound, but we're still down here 36%, Brendan.
All right, guys, Co-Diagnostics, another one we mentioned on Friday. They came out and said they've increased production of their COVID-19 tests because of increased demand. They came out again this morning and said they're upping it one more time. So nice look here, 12% to the upside for CODX. Neil's just talking about this one. Watch 15. If you go out to a daily chart, 15 even up to about 1530, 1540. Definite area of congestion on the daily chart, but already starting to kind of grind back to the downside. I'm going to keep going back to the well on the short side with CODX, guys. It's been working pretty much every time this thing gaps to the upside. Guys.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I've just been doing the same thing here, and I like to be in position when the market opens on Codex. If you can, you find a good level. We're very, very fortunate to have been able to get $14.90 here as a price. You can see it sort of testing that 15 a couple of times with a 15.30 top. So nice positioning. I already did take some out for about a 25-cent win, and now we're sitting in the money. We can get a secondary flush. We maybe add through 14.50 if it breaks that. Maybe get a retest of 15. So I do like Codex here for the short side trade. Certainly looking better than NBY, which just bounced off that 175. So this is why I don't like that pre-market high of 170 for a break, because you had a level on the daily chart like 5 pennies higher than that. That's why you have to go to a higher time frame sometimes. Otherwise, you're punching in there at $1.70 thinking it's about to run at $2, and you run into a level at 175, which you could have seen if you just slipped into a higher time frame.
So this market starting to push up here quite decently from 2,800 up to 2,821 right now. We're actually in Carnival right now. It does break above that 12.15 level that I like, so we're in very, very small. I'm not taking big positions in the pre-market anymore, especially not in a Carnival, but we're going to wait to see here now. We are long Carnival Cruise Lines right now, $12.16. It's printing 18s, but we're going to wait to see on that one. So Carnival's the first one that we're in right now. Let's wait to see what does happen. Your NBY bouncing off that 175, which is really nice. Here we go to the top side. Microsoft also going to be a name. We have Valeria, I believe, on the bell today, so you're going to be seeing her in the next couple minutes as well, ringing that bell. Make sure you hit the like and hit the subscribe button, guys. We're going to be back here every single day doing this show with you, so hopefully you're able to find some winners with us. Put them in the chat and we'll go. 177 has been the top here on the day for Microsoft. 176, 86, so we're actually right there right now. I'm going to be a little weary of taking anything off the open, guys. This was a decent move back up. I don't see any reason why. You had Airplane Jane on talking about the same thing here today. Why is the market up? I'm watching different shows, different podcasts. This market really shouldn't be up here. The social distancing is going to continue. And yeah, some reoccurring cases in China as well. It's going to be a fun day, but I don't think this market's going to be up. I'm not loving many longs.
Yeah, you know what? I was looking at NCLH there. You talked about the break on CCL, but we held 12 for right now on NCLH, so I'm not triggered in. Maybe that one's going to be a trailer, which is, if that's trailing CCL and some of the other names, that could actually be a fantastic play. Just watch the others go. But Codex, ladies and gentlemen, that's moving to the downside. You guys wanted something on a retracement play. Brendan liked it. I like it as well. It just broke through that 1450. So this happens at 9:30. You're probably thinking about an ad. For me, I just took more shares out there. We'll floss this one off with 2 minutes till the open. We just took a third out there on a 14.30 for a 60-cent. We're going to hang on to the rest. I'd love to reload on an open if it gets any kind of a push and fails here at 14.70 or at 14.90. So this looks like a good one already. And we're also watching from Friday TRNX. I know not all of you look at penny stocks. Some of you were pretty active in this one. It's already done 17 million shares worth of volume in a relatively tight range. I mean, it's actually a 10% range, so that's not even that tight. I'm looking at 40 cents, 44 as a level. 50 was the big one. You had to have that short we talked about on Friday.
Yeah, here goes Carnival now, finally starting to go a little bit as well. Good play there on Codex, that's for sure. Brendan also talked about fading through on Codex, so good little look there. That looks like a strong one. GILD 81, watch out for that level as well. I wanted to bring that to your attention. I mean, we're bumping up here to 82 and change, but Gilead down here. We talked about someone on the chat there, Moderna. yeah, I mean, look, this one's running all-time highs, continues to be put in for this one, $48, $49, MRNA. I'd look at 44 to break the bottom here, which is what I lost on Friday, 43.40. So that's going to be one to look at on a break as well. CCL still going for me. That's the only position I have on CCL.NY. If you see .NY on there, you know that's going to be New York. We only have 40 seconds to go now. We're long CCL, but very light at $12.16. It's at $12.20. I'm looking at a $12.25 break to get even more aggressive, guys.
Yeah, Sean, I just got triggered into NCLH, so it did go eventually through that $12 level. Very similar kind of play here. It's, again, pretty light, but trying to break back to the upside, but we're going to have that count. Whoops, no. We don't want to count down now. What are we talking about? And accidentally hit the countdown
okay,
a little bit early, but that's okay. We're about 15 seconds early. Why not? It is what it is. But I just got triggered into NBY as well. It just tested that 175 mark, guys. Don't ring it yet, Valeria, because now it's 3 and 2 and 1. Let's ring that bell right now. Maybe got a failed break in NBY there. I got a wick above that says 178 hit. I got triggered into the long here at 176.
CCL, yep.
Already starting to go to the upside. So NCLH is failing, but there's a nice move there in NBY taking off the top just a little bit. I'll see if we can't work out of some of these shares at least in front of that little bounce. We'll take a few shares off. We'll floss it off immediately on the 175 break. But again, I want to hold the bulk of this position to see if it can really go. A failure here through that top, not a good sign. If it gets a one wick and then drops back down heavily, you got to watch out for that retracement short. But for the time being, we already took some profits off. That's why you got to do it on NBY.
Yeah, I'm going to try to go long on NBY as well if we break through that top. Okay, CCL, this is why we go very light, guys. Falls down, we get out there, not hurt, nothing really mattering there. 1180 to the short side we're looking, or 1220 to the long side. So that's Carnival Cruise Lines moving around here off the open, obviously with big volume. Oxy does break down below that 12. This is that level that we like, guys, but obviously it's SSR, so we missed that short. You're going to have to catch it on the way back up, like right now. It's ripping back to the top side. XOM also bounces 41. Right now, it's about to get time to get into some trades here. XOM, the bottom right now, $40.40. Let's see what it wants to do as oil seems to be catching a little bit of a bid here, guys.
Yeah, and there goes NBY, and this is why you've got to take those off. You know, you take profit on the first half, and then you basically lose on the rest of it. So, you know, you get a nice little bounce through 175. It comes up. I usually like shorting these things, but this time we go long on a break, and it does not work out. So there we go. We'll flush that one down the toilet. Oxy's getting right into that target range. So I take the initial short in on the pre-market, and again, you take that little break off the open. You don't like to get leverage in too hard, but now it's going to test that pre-market pivot right here at 1245. So, you know, this is where my stop is sitting. This is where the reload is going to be on an Oxy. Maybe just missed an opportunity. There is a flash back in, but you still have the futures basically unmoved at this point, guys. So it's not a humongous move, but Oxy showing a little bit of gusto, and you got to watch out to see what's happening in the oil futures. I'm looking at both of these contracts. You're still hanging at 1170 on May, and you're still looking at the forward contract at 22.5. So it's not a gigantic move whatsoever. That's why I thought Oxy would come back in. And look what happens. I did stick an order in there, try to catch some on the way back down to 1230. Didn't get them there, Sean, so we don't get our reload. We had a plan in front of 1250. It doesn't work out because I couldn't get the shares on the way back.
Oh, man, we had the same ideas there on some of those reloads, but we are right now into softy, so we go long Microsoft here, 176.60. So let's see what happens here on this move back up with the futures. I'm trying to get some out at 89 here for a quick little 20 penny winner. There it is. So we get that in this little win. We're third out of our Microsoft and still letting this thing run to the top side here as the futures continue to go. So let's just see what softy can do. See if we can't get back to this little area of consolidation back on Friday afternoon, 178.30 and change. The high, 179.68. What's up, Brandon?
A little mortgage capital company in trouble here this morning. IVR, guys, all kinds of volume behind this move. Down 27%. They announced some financing issues back on Friday aftermarket, but huge gap to the downside. Huge volume at the open there for IVR, guys.
Yeah, how do we miss this one, IVR? But so far, you had this level right here off of the open, 271, 275 area that was trying to get busted, that it couldn't quite break past. So, you know, if you want to use that one as a level to short in front, go ahead. I think that's going to be worthwhile. 5 million in volume already looks fantastic. I'm also looking at Codex, which I just reloaded, guys. Just reloaded. At 95 on Codex. So 1493 is my price. Still looking at a 1525 is my area stop on Codex. So that we're already 1 for 1 on Codex. This is kind of that little reload opportunity. And we mentioned liking this one on a pullback, and you got to give it to that top.
Yeah, we're giving Microsoft some room here as well. This is the only stock that we have so far today. 176.60 long. We've been cashing them out right here, 177. Let's see if we can't break that. And here we go. Yes, Microsoft exploding to the top side here. So again, guys, we are long 176.61. It's a nice 50-cent winner on this big cap name for you guys today. So we're going to see if we can't get 177.20. That's that top that we talked about from the last couple of days. We're going to sit there, see if we can't get that as it starts to open upside here in the market. You can see bouncing off that 28.20. We may not get too much more than Softy right now. 50 cents, definitely worth it, guys. Hope you have that one. I love trading Microsoft. Look at Walmart.
Yeah, well, I was going to say Walmart right here. It just bounced off of that high that we were talking about. So that 133 mark did just get tested. You see it right here on the daily. That's going to be your high from a couple of sessions ago. Bouncing back to the downside. So, one thing that I did mention was the possibility of taking a short in front of it. It gave you the opportunity. It's still a breakout long if you want to go and grab that, and I'm probably going to do so. But I'm going to jump into the short in Walmart in front of that level and see if we can't use it as a nice little support. So 133 even is going to be the play here on Walmart.
Yeah, we're also going short here, Disney as well. So Disney, we just execute that short. And those of you that are wondering about short sells, means when you go ahead and you borrow the stock, and now we're hoping the stock goes down. So you can see here a little, purple tick here to go short. 102.65 short right now, Disney. We talked about liking through that 102.80 level. I'm going to give it back to 103. So tight stop there. Okay, Microsoft is just ripping to the top side. Big time winners. What's up, Brandon?
Guys, huge move on Shopify this morning, approaching 5% here. Look at this move. This is all-time high territory for Shopify. They launched a new platform in Canada that's going to make it easier for small businesses to access capital during this period. So all-time highs today for Shopify, guys.
All right, we'll explode some money, rain it down a little bit. We did take XOM long through 41 here, guys. Big time trade happy. Bang! There it is, 25 cents. We go bullish on oil right now. Let's go XOM to the top side. We've got XOM long. We've got Microsoft long. Microsoft's 80 cents in the money. XOM now 20 cents in the money. Let's go, guys. XOM long, 41.05. Cashing them out here on the top.
Just got a little bit more into Walmart there, guys, in front of that 13 even level. So that's going to continue to be the play off that 13. Look, it's still only 1.5% down in the futures. So we're not actually moving a heck of a lot in the overall futures S&P. I'm still looking at Oxy in front of 1250. So I've not reversed at any point yet in Occidental. We do like the same target area. It's still in that range for us. So I'd like to be getting a price in the 1225 range. Unfortunately, I have not gotten all my shares into this one. The first bounce we did miss, so we'll try a secondary one. But Walmart is pennies away from that 133, and I think we got to reverse to the long side if we catch a break on Walmart. Such a strong name.
Yeah, 40.97 here on XOM will be my out if it does break back down below 40. But right now, big time long and cashed out. So I don't want to hold oil for too long here if we don't have to. But look at what's happening to Mr. Softy. We say WTF because we are now $1 in the money on this one, guys. I still have, it's pretty light, 20% of this position going. But right now, look at this, guys. 176.50. We're at 177.50, Brendan. This is a $1 winner here for Mr. Softy.
Another big mover here, Roku to the upside, guys. 5% already for Roku from 128 in the pre-market. We're at 134 in a straight line. Couple of price target cuts on this name today. No other real significant news, but very strong, guys.
XOM we're getting out.
Very, very strong name. But I want to get you guys to that TRNX. I know a couple of you are asking about this one. Already gave you a playoff of 45 cents. We like the 44 level. Now that I see a failure through the pre-market top, I'm going to be shorting in front of that. So let it bounce a couple of pennies here and then take that little short, maybe run it into 36. It's done 43 million shares in volume. So that's going to give you an awesome opportunity for some nice returns, guys.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at Roku as well. Disney right there goes to 103 and turns around. So we still are in that short. Microsoft is still a big monster winner. Chicken dinners everywhere, guys. Nice little win here. Up $1 and change now on Microsoft. Our actual long position. You can see at the bottom. You can see Neil and I positions. You can see our profits. Let's just keep rolling these forward, guys. This is 27 cents right now on XOM. That's a 41 long. That's a break that we took. We took Microsoft breakthrough 176.50. Everything is cashing in right now, Brendan.
Another name that had a pretty nice week last week, guys. Work here up 5% or 4.5% now. Nice move from 28 up to above 29.5 for Work, guys.
All right, guys, welcome.
Just got some more shares out there on Codex,
go.
guys. We just got a 1450 once again, now breaking back down. But Walmart breaks 133 to the upside, so we reverse to the long side trade there. Walmart long, XOM, sorry, not XOM, but Codex continuing to slide to the downside. Wow. That's why you want to reload on this one. Gave you a fantastic short. Like Brendan said, almost every single day, the retracement looking fantastic.
Guys, look at this. I mean, these positions I have on are nuts here. XOM, 50 cents in the money now. We're long 41 and change, still holding some of that. Microsoft, $1 plus in the money. I want to welcome everybody. It looks like we might be at a record high right now, almost 800 viewers. So thank you so much to that, guys. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. We're going to be back every single day for you guys. And welcome back, Neil. Obviously, that's why we have a lot of viewers back. And shout out to Arun for coming through with us hardcore on Friday. Neil, I know you were watching, but Arun did a fantastic job.
No, it was absolutely fantastic. I certainly was enjoying it myself. Of course, I'd rather be trading like this. Just took some out on Walmart there on the way up. But, ultimately, we like bringing the markets to you. Arun did a fantastic job stepping in. I see you guys asking about Slack here. Bit of a bounce to the upside. And I say bit of the bounce. Yeah, we just went $1.50 move, big time. But we're tracing here. So on a pullback, look at this range. Opening range, and that's the first few seconds here. 28.90. On a pullback, that could be an interesting level to work off of. So that's what I'm looking at with Slack. Maybe let it settle down a little bit, though. Crazy mover already.
Yeah, I'm seeing these markets pull back a little bit here. We get out some Microsoft, and we're pretty light right now. But wow, talk about exploding some money on these stocks today. Wow, big time wins off the open here. XOM, we're getting out right now as well, resisting this 41.50 level. Still down 4 and a little bit percent. I think XOM has a chance, guys, to get back to this level here, which is right where we're at right now. This is consolidation point on Friday. 41.80, 41.60, 41.70. So I'm going to dump some now in the high 40s. We're long and we're strong on this one. Look at Microsoft. This is what we're talking about, guys. I just dumped some up top, and we just said why. Future's coming back down now, so we're dumping some Microsoft, and we're almost out of this one. My last two outs, 177.76, 177.58. We're not going to let this one go below 177. Still hold on to anything. Yeah, and just got a quick entry. I talked to you guys about TRNX a little bit there, but I did take some shares at 42.8, about 43 in front of that 44, 45 high there. You can see that little spike up. That didn't really transpire with any shares up there, so don't worry too much about it. You got to have a hard stop at the top. We're now working into a short as it bases out. I'm going to quickly go position board on for you guys, just so you can see what we are working with here. Well, wait a minute. It might not be working, so I'm just going to verbally do it for you. If you guys can trigger it for me, please throw it up. But I have that Codex. Still have a third of my shares short at 14.95. We've taken profit several times there. TRNX, we just jumped into at 42.8. That's working down about $0.015 in the money. Walmart, we still have a third of that long through the 133 break at 133.05. And then Oxy, we got our full load in there at 12.21 is our price with a 12.50 stop, looking for that further flush. So I'm positioned in the oil name, looking for a bigger type of move. We don't get it, fine. We'll lose about 25-30 cents. Brendan, what do you got?
Guys, everyone's favorite Chinese online retailer, Pinduoduo, big move this morning, 7% here to the upside, approaching $48 on PDD. We started the day around 44.5. They announced a new deal with a home appliance retailer, so they're going to add some home appliance features to their website, guys.
Oh, good for them. I like Pinduoduo too. Yeah, that is my favorite Chinese stock to trade. I love that name. Okay, we're going to try to short some Oxy here as well. Yeah, XOM right now is coming back down. Like I said, this is why you dump those positions. Remember, we talked about it at 41.50. I don't want to say perfect, but that was the call. We just gave that to you right there. What a great in at 41. What a great out at 41.50. We did bunch some out inside there. We had a lot of shares. We're going to take 25 pennies every time. And then we take that 50 pennies. But now we're going to watch this long as we go short Oxy and long Microsoft, long XOM right here. So we're going to have to battle some of these positions. Probably get some out of XOM. Oil coming back in a little bit, 11.83 right now.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this Codex here, guys. You get a shallower move. You get the first flush to the downside, goes all the way near the pre-market bottom at 14.30. Great 60 penny return there. The second time we test 15, shallow move into 14.50. So we do take shares off again, but this kind of means that I'm not going to reload a third time here. We're going to allow it to try and test that 15 even area. Stop still at 15.25, but I want to see it test 15 one more time. If it fails, that would be a place to add back into the short and sort of continue to work this trade. I'll jump you over to Oxy.
Yeah,
that's the position for me that, you know, you dig into one that you wanted to put a bet onto the short side in the pre-market range, which is what we've done here. But once it breaks out, and that's this level here, that 12.50, I'll be done with that trade. If it levels off and flushes, that will be an opportunity to maybe add to a few more shares, which is our last little bit, maybe another 20%. But you can't let it go any further than that 1250, which is coming right here, right now. So if there's a fall in the hole, that's the first hit of the day after that NBY pre-market play. But again, don't jump in heavy on those pre-market plays. I don't think that's the way to go on some of those like smaller names. Walmart, guys, I'll get you back to one last one here. That's continuing to work to the upside, but it's stalling out a little bit. You know, the market's not really getting going too heavily. We talked about that high in Walmart having some trouble getting out of this range. It breaks. It gives you a few chances for some profitability. The extended move hasn't happened, but I'm going to hang on to it. We can let this one run, maybe probably all the way back to 132.70 or so. It's only risking about 30 pennies there.
Yeah, we're long into CCL right now as well. We take that 12.25 break. That's what we were waiting for when we took it in the pre-market. Now it comes, so we'll see. It's bounced around, man. We got out 29s there and some 26s. So, you know, we're in the money right now, 2 pennies, but nothing to really, write home about. Let's update our board here. We'll see if this can work for me, and hopefully it does because we have 3 positions on right now. We'll go to camera 2 right here. Here it comes. Good, it's working. Okay, we'll figure out what's wrong with Niels. CCL, no, my board's wrong actually because I'm not short. I'm long CCL, long Microsoft, and long XOM. Those are those 3 positions. We'll figure out this board for you guys.
Yeah, no worries there, guys. We'll get that one to you, but I want to get you guys back to TRNX, and we're still looking at this one here. It is retesting towards that 44. That's going to be an add point there. 45 is going to be our out, so we're going to continue to work these shares. I did take some profit when it bounced down to, what's going to look like VWAP. It's a little bit early for that to matter, but, certainly you can play some shares in and out for a penny or 2 at a time when it's doing this kind of volume. I think you kind of have to, otherwise you're wasting away. So we just got trailed out of Walmart there, so first 2/3 are going to win. The last third gets trailed out. That's still going to be a solid trade, that little break to the long side. But we did mention that there was some trouble running past that level, that high previously, and that could have been an impediment to a bigger move and more opportunities in a Walmart. But right now I'm looking to add to this TRNX position, see if we can't work in and out of it. 50 million. I love that kind of volume.
Yeah, I see that from Kim and Ross there on the chat. I'm 3 longs right now. I'm long right now XOM at 41 and change. We got a little bit out there, 35 on the drop. We've been up here before. I do like XOM breaking through 41.50. So if that goes, giddy up because we're already long 41.05. We already long as well right here, Microsoft 176.59. So that one's nicely 70 cents in the money. And we're long, not short, CCL. So we are long right now, 12.26 CCL. You can see that this tick didn't happen all the way down to 12, but we will see here if CCL can come back to the top side. We take some more out there, 29s. It's resisted a couple times. Let's wait to see. All of these ticks are our outs and our ins. So you're going to see here, green means we're long, red means we're selling. What's up, Brendan?
A few people were talking about this mRNA, Moderna, coming up to Friday's pre-market highs here. Decent level, 49 up to 49.25, guys. Very, very strong. 4% on the day for mRNA as well.
Thank you very much, and thank you, David A. It's good to be back. I'm happy to be here. Jason as well, thank you. I don't like not trading. Let's be real. All you guys don't like not trading. Certainly you got to be here in an active fashion with the markets, and here goes that TRNX. I mean, what a fantastic one. This is the one that really grinded my gears, not being able to trade. I just got some more shares out there. We reloaded in front of 43. We're going to continue to take some out in front of 40 here as we get a bigger flush. But ultimately, target on this short is to get some shares all the way down to 36 if we can. So it's been a fantastic one. I'm going to continue to work in and out of TRNX, talking about the levels we're using, that 45 initially. 43 is a bit of a bounce back point to reload, which we're doing here, guys. TRNX up 20%, but still a nice opportunity for the retracement. Yeah, and we're looking here at JP Morgan making some topside moves as well. It had a problem breaking through 94 on Friday, so you want some longs here. I do like JP Morgan if we can get above this 94 level, which is right here. It bounced off of it a couple times on Friday. Then when it finally broke, it did go topside there. So JP Morgan for the win if we can get that long. We're not long now, but I do like JP Morgan through 94 there. All the banks are bumping up to key levels here as well, including Citigroup. That's another name, it was 44.50. Nice little top there. If it can break that, that's going to be key as well. But here goes Softy. We are right back to the day's high on this one. We're still long, guys. This is an 87-cent winner. We'll probably take a little bit more off and then hold the rest. But yeah, thanks to Davide for that one. We will hit the fireworks. But what's up, Brandon? Give us another one.
Another little one going this morning, guys. 22% here for EXEL. They teamed up with Bristol Myers way back when, middle part of last year, to work on a cancer treatment that has now shown very positive results in a phase 3 trial. So if you're you're wondering what the deal is with EXEL, positive carcinoma treatment data released this morning, guys.
Very nice, very nice. 177.40 XOM still going up, Citigroup still going up. We're just trying to find some more names for you guys here. This EROS, this was the Indian film company, I think, the holding company for that. EROS we're going to see down, still up 25%, but fading back in. We did talk about that play earlier on, and it did break that level that we gave you at 420. So 428, shout out.
Wow, there it is, Sean.
Are we Batman? Yeah, this time
that was not planted. That was completely generic.
Yeah, here's the 420 level that we're talking about. It breaks it and then tanks all the way down. So happy 420 for anybody who is partaking in that today. Enjoy your vice, that's for sure. Starbucks, Microsoft, Moderna, a whole bunch of stocks moving around, guys.
Yeah, just looking back over at Slack, still looking, relatively strong, but it's pulling in just a little bit here, guys. So past that 29, haven't really seen any kind of serious consolidation that will get me back involved in it. But watch this one. It's already put in a $2 range and looks like it wants to give almost everything back on a flush. Only thing I have is that TRNX to the short side, and now looking for NBY as well, because that seems like it could be rolling over. Brendan, what do you got?
Smile Direct Club having a nice day here, guys, as well. 8 to almost 9% to the upside. Just broke 5 on huge volume. Got above that high from Friday pretty quick as well. There's actually a price target cut on this morning, but no other news. SDC off to the races, guys.
Wow, you can say that again, up 9%, but again, double bottom that got put in this name, so it's trying to make another push to the upside. This big story here is you go to this little daily chart and you're going to see this was the breakout potential, probably at 480. So on any kind of a pullback, that's the level I want to see it retest. You can put a stop order, you can put an order in there to trigger if you like the long on any kind of a pullback in Smile Direct. That's probably the price I'm going to be looking at personally. But I do believe, maybe not just yet, but we're going to be going to Valeria in just a couple of quick seconds here. I do know that some of you guys were looking at one of these other names here was IVR, and this was basically, I know Greg in the chat talking about it. It just put a top in shy of this $3 area on a pullback, still down 20%. But if it fails lower than that, this is going to be a shorting opportunity. If it fails lower than 3, you just take it on the consolidation using 3 as your out. But we're now ready for Valeria, who I know you all want to see.
Join our live trading show. Let's keep the live chat active. Leave us comments, write your trades, and of course ask questions. Neil and Sean have more than 30 years of experience in trading, so ask them what you want to know about trading, and I'll keep one question each hour and ask them directly. And of course, guys, there is an option of super chat. It's a new YouTube feature where viewers can pay in order to pin their comment. So thank you very much. We received your super chat. It's very supportive, and we'll be trying to be better each day for you. And guys, everyone can support us with more likes and subscriptions. Please, let's reach 300 likes today. It will be our absolute record. I'll see you later. Back to traders.
Good look there. Thank you, Valeria. And check out XOM, guys. This name just rips to the top side. You want longs? How about this idea? XOM. I talked about that with Added Airplane Jane. We take a long 41 and ho-hum. It's at 41.90. We just took some of ours out. We only have 10% left as we go, but we're breaking through $42 right now. XOM to the top side. We're not going to let this one turn into a loser. Microsoft comes all the way back down. We're very, very light on that one now, waiting to see if it breaks back below 176.60. But it's been such a fantastic day. Whoa, CCL. I noticed this one popping as well. 12.25 all the way up here to 12.32, and look, we ticked some out up there as well. So once again, we turn our frowns upside down on CCL. Looked like it wasn't going to move, but now we go smiley face on Carnival as we're able to get some out at 32. We'll wait for the rest to get out somewhere down here, maybe 12.15 or so. But I'm going to try to hold this till we go. Maybe CCL just for the win.
Seller, I just noted here on NB1. I talked about working into maybe some shorts in this name. I was trying to get it in this little range it was putting in at 155 down to 145. I saw someone step up, a bigger seller at 42. So I worked into some here at 140. We'll just use that guy as our out. If it breaks back into this range, I'd like a better price in the 150 range. But finally into this one, which in a structure that I like a little bit better. Brendan, what do you got?
Another vaccine name here going, guys. NVAX, 14%, just straight to the upside from 19 up to 22 almost for NVAX. They had some positive data on their COVID-19 trial back on Friday. They were mentioned in a couple of articles over the weekend when it comes to progress being made towards a treatment and a vaccine, guys.
Okay, we are taking, NVAX. We'll definitely have a look at that. We like NVAX. 103.35 or so, 103 in change. We'll get out of some of these shares here. 40. We'll see about taking some more Disney as we're breaking back down. Just like to let you guys know here, these indicators of purple. Can you see that on the screen right now? Yes, you can. So we're going short again. We shorted Disney at this break, 102.80. That didn't work. We got out on a 103 break. Now we're going to wait, use this VWAP, 103.30. I know it's not very heavy, guys, but we're going to wait to see on Disney. I'm not going to average in too much past this one. I still love the 104 break. We are going to take that long if it breaks 104, but for right now, we'll try to massage into a little baby short here. 103.30 and change on Disney. Right now, XOM, Microsoft long, Disney short side, and CCL long as well. So it's moving around and we're not doing too bad here. 4 positions for me with only 71 fills right now. So let's close that back down and take a look here at Disney continuing to the downside, 102.95, guys.
Yeah, I was just having a look here at Facebook, and I feel like this is one of those names that we missed here in the pre-market. Of course, they're coming out with that gaming app, which is going to allow people. It's basically a competition for Twitch. I think that's what they're coming at. Launching it early because people staying at home, obviously. So this would be a bullish play for them, but the market dragging things down here. So actually down 0.8%. I think, now that we've made a bit of a range, we held the pre-market bottom, we broke through the pre-market top. Now you can look at 177. It's looking about 177.40 or so as support for a long position if you like this one to the upside, which we're going to probably take a look at myself in Facebook. So first time in a while that we like Facebook to the long side on a day trade, but we're going to have a look at this 177.50 to 70 entry point in front of this little VWAP retracement play. So I only have 3 shorts, but they're all in small names here. IVR, we grabbed at 290. We have a $1.40 short on NBY, and we also look at this TRNX 43 short. That one's trying to break through 40. That's when we can get down to that 36 here if we can break that 40.
I do like Alibaba. I see on the questions. Thanks for this question here. Who was it on the chat here? Yahana. Check Alibaba. Yeah, I like it. Breaking through 213 here. Looks like we're going to go. So 213 to the long side here on Alibaba. A nice little call. Alibaba up today in a down market. 213 is where we sort of bunched up here. I like it. 213 break, guys, on Alibaba. And here it goes. This might be a trade to take.
Yeah, and just quickly looking to get an entry in that Facebook. Still haven't been able to trigger down anywhere. I want this 177.50-ish range. We're going to try and be patient with it. But Brendan, what do you have for us?
One from the cloud space, guys. OKTA, 3.5% move today. Just broke 153 on a huge volume spike there. OKTA, this is all-time highs for this one as well, guys.
OKTA. Oh, Okta. Yeah, I like Okta as well. They're a big, I think they're a cloud company as well. So let's go over here. Okta, yeah, 153.50. So big move up here. No surprise on Okta today. 640,000 shares. Big time mover. Breaking through this pre-market high of 149 up to 153 and change. So yeah, that's rocking and rolling. Let's see if XOM, this is a long that we have here from 41. Still waiting to see if it wants to break through 42. It did last time, 42.10. So this is a trade that we have to hold. Here goes Facebook, Neil. I did take that break through 178, so we are long now. A couple hundred shares at 178.05. Let's see how high we can go up on this one. I do like your protection down there at 177.50.
Yeah, I actually just missed that entry, but let's see if we can't grab it on a bit of a pullback here, because it's a very sleepy stock at times, and I think maybe if it gets a little range bound, it does give you some other opportunities to work into positions. So on this little pullback, I did want this one ideally at 177.50 to 80, which we're sort of 70, which we were talking about. So I will leave myself some room to add to this position on the back end here, but I am grabbing it now below that 178 mark. We still have on that TRNX. This one just continues to work for us. So this is one of those things where you can sort of spin the wheel here and continue to hopefully get a jackpot on it, but you want to be making sure you take some profit out. It pops up to that 44. We'll always add back in at that 43 range. When it drops below VWAP, I'm going to work out on that volume just to make sure that we have a core position short while also profiting from the fact that it's doing 67 million shares, guys. So should be a good one. It's continuing to do so today after a banner Friday.
Yeah, and here goes Alibaba, unfortunately, to the downside. We did take that break. I think this is not a bad spot to average in, so we'll see if we can do some of that. We're long right now at 213. We talked about taking that break, and we did it. So we just... Sometimes we get excited when these markets start to run up, so you got to have your stocks in mind that what you want. And unfortunately, our Alibaba, good little look there on the chat. We are now long through 213 as it comes right back to the top side here. We have Facebook long. We have a lot of stocks long, man. Facebook long, BOBA long, Disney short, Microsoft long, and XOM long. So let's see if Facebook can't rally back up above 178. If these futures take off, we'll make a lot of money, but we got to protect the downside. 178.40 or so. Sorry, 177.40 or so downside on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, I like that same level. I haven't had a chance to add back in, which again, sometimes that's a very good thing for your long position. If it just wants to go and you're trying to get a blended price to the upside in and it doesn't give it to you, well, fine. Let's let it test that top ultimately. I do want to see it break 178.50. If it breaks to the upside at that price, that's when I would consider where we're taking profits out. Below that, it's not that interesting just yet. But here is that little move that we're getting to the upside on Facebook. So I needed to go about 20, 30 more cents before I consider any profit taking. IVR, thank you very much, Greg, for putting this one on our radar this morning. It is giving a bit of an opportunity here, and I'll zoom in just so you can see it better. Double top, put in at $3. Bit of a lower high. I wait for it to work off of that and then consolidate. Then you jump into the short. I want confirmation that it's pulling back in after that bounce from 240. So down 22%, but it just bounced 20% in the pre-market to that top. So just want to make sure we are sliding to the downside here. Got a 290 short. We're in the money 6 cents. Looking to take some off at 280, maybe some out at VWAP, and then let it crash, hopefully, down back to those pre-market levels.
Yeah, we're going to be averaging in, well, if we can, to some of our BABA. I do like this one. We are long 213. We did cash out there in the 20s a little bit, so we're going to see on that one. Facebook, like Neil just mentioned, there's some size here at 105, but we did cash out some of that one also in the 20s. So back-to-back 20-cent winners, but we only got out of like 10% of the stock. So we are still holding for some long, some superhero longs hopefully can come through. The only short we have on right now is Disney. This has been okay, doubled shorts. Now we'll see if Disney wants to work to the bottom. So at least if the market crashes, I have Disney to the short side, but I'm much more concerned here about Facebook. This one is the most volatile name here. Well, I mean, BABA can move, but we're almost out of, we're not almost out, but we're light on BABA. My biggest position capital-wise is this Facebook share. So we'll see if it can go up here. A couple hundred shares long, 178, guys.
Wow, and what a move you guys are just mentioning there in the chat. Devil Trader, yeah, mRNA, wow, 7.2% to the upside, just breaking $50 even, so missed the boat on that one certainly. But it is time for Brennan Wickens and happening now.
All right, guys, yeah, let's have a look at North American markets, see what the story is looking like after the first 30 minutes here. Still in negative territory, obviously, top to bottom here, but well off the lows, which is nice. So S&P 500, 1.2%. Now, you're going to find the Dow, same story, about 1.6%. NASDAQ leading, which is always good to see if we want to get back to that positive territory. Tech stocks down about 0.8%. The Russell small caps, 1.6% to the downside. Still, you can see the TSX here in Toronto, 1.14%, all about energy names. They are trying to get back to the upside, but still in negative territory here for the TSX. BOVESPA down in Brazil, also negative on the day. A lot of energy names down in Brazil also. This is Baytex Energy, still 8% here, but look at these things trying to get back to the upside. If you like the little ones, all kinds of volume, all kinds of liquidity on this one. Got to get all the way back to 34 cents though, if this thing is going to go positive on the day. So a little bit of work to do. Cenovus here as well, trying 370 was the close there on Friday. Got up to that point, starting to pull back a bit. Need to see some of these starting to hold higher and then get that secondary push back into positive territory. Look at Enbridge, straight to the upside almost. We did get a flush off the open, held $40 there. It's at $40.75. This thing had a huge run up into the close on Friday, $41.30, $41.25, that kind of area if you want to see that one positive on the day. Still negative, guys, but we're trying. We're trying on a Monday. Back to you.
Took 40 cents on Disney there. Nice little out at 102.67. We talked about that. But yeah, lots of stocks moving.
Sean, look at the front. Look at this contract here. Look, talk about oil, man. Big time movement. We just cracked through 11. It just fell apart on a dime there. So this is a massive, massive move. I got burned on Oxy. I think maybe we should have been a little bit more patient with this play. It's now back to that 1250 where we got out. I was looking at Apache. It's a very similar story here. So, I think maybe this could be, finally getting some legs. It made a bit of a top here. If it consolidates lower, that could be the short opportunity that we're waiting for. So not too much to look at until I see it hold around that range a bit. But that TRNX wall, absolute wall here at that 40 mark. And we're talking about it here in the chat. For me, you got to take some shares off as it's doing this, but still maintaining that core position. It is 36, which has been our target all morning long, so it's got, you know, at least double what we've put into it, I think, in terms of upside if it wants to continue this slide. I'm now looking for reloads at 42 and 42.5 instead of 43 hours. So we're adjusting things just a little bit on TRNX, still active in that name.
Okay, yeah, good. And we can try our position board here. Let me just see if it's going to update and update properly here. Long, long, short, short, long. Yeah, okay. Let's try it, guys. We'll throw the position board on now and just talk about what we have on. Oh, as here comes Valeria with the coffee. Okay, you're going to walk the shot here. Hey, Valeria, thank you for the coffee there. Thank you. Yeah, don't fall. Okay, this is taking longer than we thought. Okay, there we go. All right, Bob along, 213.09, guys. That's a 40-cent winner right now. Bang! CCL long as well. Disney, we're on the short on that one. That's 20 cents in the money on the short. Facebook is 40 cents in the money. Microsoft is 40 cents in the money. I got to turn around and deal with these market moving higher, Neil. Let's go.
Yeah, Facebook here. We only got the 177.96 entry there. I wasn't able to add to it on that pullback, so it is what it is. But we talked about it needing to break this top here, 178. It's not 50. It's actually 45, but that's splitting hairs. I want to see it break 178.50. Then I think we get that bigger move to the upside. The market is really holding steady here. It's just not a gigantic move back to the upside. The ES, there may be 20 handles off the bottom here. Not a massive move. Facebook, a relatively strong name. It turns positive at 179.24. So, let's see if it can't maybe get to that today. That'd be a fantastic target, I think, on this long.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out there to Alibaba there because it was mentioned by a viewer on the show, and I took it, hammered it. We looked a little longer. We love that 213. We get out here 213.30. It does go as high as 71 when we were reviewing our positions there. Facebook, we already have this one, 178.05. We've been taking some out here, 20, 25. It does get as high as 40 there, so let's park some orders and see if we can't get some out there. Microsoft, everything moving the money for us, including our Disney, which has been holding down. So what a great out that was. We're going to see though, I want this market to take off. I would love Disney to start losing for me because this is such a super light position. Everything else is quite monstrous. Here goes Facebook.
There goes Facebook.
Yes,
and now that we've broken through that top, let's talk about what the plan is for me. You break through, I'm going to now trail this, not back to our level on entry at 177.40, trailing stop to break even at 178. So this cannot turn into a losing trade at this point, but I still want to see it run more.
Yeah, we love that. And that's what Neil and I always do, guys. We always talk about taking our losers and turning them into winners if you can by averaging in, but at the same time, you cannot let winners turn into losers. So with that being said there, bang! There's a 50-cent win right there. We take it out. We put our net into the gates of hell here. We're going higher and higher and higher. Let's see if Alibaba can't keep going. All the shorts getting squeezed out right now a little bit. That's for sure. Disney's still going down. CCL back from the dead, guys. I did take a little bit out there when we thought we were breaking 15. Now let's see if Carnival can't get back to the side going. This is the only stock I have that's really not moving. And bye-bye Facebook. We take some out. We get out on Alibaba there as well. Everything now moving, Neil. Or we're ready for Brendan. Let's go.
Another one, guys, to the upside here. OPK just had a big offer get taken out here at 190. You can see a huge volume spike on OPK. Blasted all the way up above $2 before a bit of a pullback here. Another one up nearly 13%. Had some vaccine or coronavirus related ties to this name way back when as well, guys.
Thank you very much. We finally break through on TRNX, so we'll go with, I don't know, winner chicken dinner. We'll just use that one because why not? I had chicken for dinner yesterday. There's the break on 40. I think this move was going to 36 ultimately. I was talking about reloads at 42.50. I think maybe you can look at 41 to 42 on this one if you want to continue to play the trend to the downside. Up 17%. Throw that out the window once you're shorting off of this opening range, guys. You got to have a level to work with. That's what we're doing here. I'll jump you back over to NBY. This was the other small cap name that we're interested in. We made a mess of the early shorts off this one, getting out in the pre-market, and in the long, worked on half, lost on the second half. I do like this opportunity now that we're rounding out into this little range here for a short. We grabbed it in a 142 range, looking for it to break and test this little bottom here at $1.25. That would be a nice little target. It's right on that 10% mark that we're looking for. So it's still kind of in this range. We're in the money about 5 cents here, looking for a bigger move in NBY.
Yeah, we need some bigger moves here for sure, including Facebook. We're just trying to get out right now as this market is coming back down. We're out almost all of our Facebook. What a great out, 178.50. I do have some orders now in the 30s to get this out because, we don't want all of our trades, like we keep saying, to fall back down. But here goes Disney. We put that evil laugh on. I shouldn't be laughing. This is one of the largest holdings for me in my own portfolio, but we're day trading right now, so we will hammer this thing to the short side. Now breaking down lows of the day. Look at this short support. We punch it in the mouth at 103 and change. Now we go all the way down to 102.40. That was the low of the day. I'm going to put a bid there, see if we can't get it for a 60 penny winner on this name. Wow, our P&Ls are up and away right now today, guys. Alibaba's still going. What did I just get filled on? Facebook back into the 30s, so there you go. Just looking at some of these outs. Nice little 32-cent winner right there on Facebook. As now we climb back, guys. Maybe these futures can keep going. We're higher than we've been all day here on our P&L, so we've been a lot of longs. The only thing we've lost on is that stupid Oxy, but we'll see if we can't get back into that name very, very soon. We crushed XOM, so that's all good. My best trade today, though, is Microsoft.
Looking at Netflix here, guys, we're talking about the strength, and this is one of those names that's been super, super strong. Pre-market top was a break at 436. You're seeing it retrace to that price after a big bounce. $10 flush down, it bounces back upside. Now it's trying to hold that pre-market top. I like this for a VWAP type retracement hold. Let's see if we can't pick it up here in this little 437 break area that it's trying to do right now. So if we can get some shares in here, kind of at that midpoint, you're risking a couple of bucks to see if you can't retest that high. I like to play the relative strength. Netflix is up 3%. Here with the market down 1. So let's jump into this one, see if we can't work a trade in front of this little VWAP. Again, I don't like stops exactly at VWAP. We'll have a video on that coming up, so watch out for that. I don't want my stop right at VWAP. You got to give it to maybe that 435 even mark. So like I said, you're risking a couple of bucks if you only have 437 as your price. If you're able to massage it to maybe closer to 436, which I'm going to try and do, then I'm risking $1 on this trade to see if we can't break through this 438 and make a big run.
Yeah, I'm just tweeting out this Alibaba chart here. Looks really good. I'm going to tweet it out with our show. If you guys have anyone that's interested in day trading, man, holler at us, because this show has been fantastic. A lot of the feedback that we've been getting has been great. So we do want to encourage more and more people to come on board and watch this. And this is what we're talking about. Follow me on Twitter at TraderTV Sean, at TraderTV Neil and Brendan, as well as the show. But Alibaba, what a clean break. I want to give a shout out. Again, I keep looking at the viewer. If you're still on, Valeria, the next time the person who shouted out Alibaba's online, let me know. I want to see who it is. Give them a big shout out, because breaking through 213 and all the way back topside here, what a fantastic trade. This is really could be our trade of the day, because it's just still going to the top side here. So is everything we have is just running into the money now. Microsoft, Facebook, CCL, now a nice little 8 penny winner. We could talk about CCL right here. Finally, we held it. Now we're up to the day's high on Carnival Cruise. Here we go. Boom! That's a swish, swish right here. Carnival back to the day's high. We believed in this one. Believe in it. Believe in it. Let's see what we can get to the top side now. Oh, Neil, I'm so glad you're back, and the one person that we can never afford to miss. Who's that, Neil?
It's Brendan Wickens. You can't let the man wait, but he's got some upgrades and downgrades for us. Let's go to the big screen.
Yeah, about that time, guys. Some interesting names and moves on this board today, including the first one here. We'll talk about AMC Theater, as we mentioned a few times last week. The negativity surrounding this name, obviously no one going to watch movies at any time soon in the foreseeable futures. But AMC Theater is getting an upgrade today, up about 3.6%. Makes no sense to me. However, I'll show you in a second. Citigroup, P&G there, 2.5% to the downside, even with an upgrade. Under Armour as well in positive territory. Boeing, Gilead, Peloton, and Disney. We talked about that one, 3.6% in negative territory for Disney on a downgrade. Here's AMC, yeah, 3.8%. You can see nice looking chart here. Nice tight little consolidation right at day highs for AMC. This thing came off a lot on Friday. They had that news they were trying to raise some capital, raise some financing. So AMC with an upgrade today in positive territory. Peloton, another one, kind of came off in the afternoon a little bit on Friday, continuing that move to the downside. It's really just grinding its way down to 31 there for PTON on a downgrade as well. Guys, that's a look at upgrades and downgrades. Back over to you.
Thanks a lot there, Brendan. A couple of you guys have asked about CYCC. I'll get to that one in a second. I haven't had a quick look at it yet. I did jump into this Facebook. Oh, we had this Facebook for a while, I should say.
Hell
it just tested 179. So again, you get another leg to the upside. I'm going to move my trailing stop again. Previously, it was at this 177.40. When we first looked at this name, we caught the break. Then I moved it up to break even. It's now going to get pushed to this level here, this 178.30 bottom that we have. So again, now it can only be a profitable trade working in the money for us. I didn't get the second an entry, guys, in Netflix there. So we're going to go with our lone entry at 437. I tried to pick some up in front of VWAP with that 435 stop. It's starting to go. It's in the money, $1.50 for us. So you don't have the perfect price, but that's what's going to happen to you if you want a blended entry, if you want to be a little bit nuanced, or sometimes it's a little bit too cute, I like to say. But either way, we're in the money a couple of dollars here, looking to take off $2.50, $3 on Netflix. Nice stock, very, very strong. It's up almost 4% with the market still down 1%.
Yeah, shout out to Trader Jane talking about Netflix and Amazon. She talked about those two stocks going to see all-time highs today. So shout out to APJ. If you didn't see her, rewind the tape. You'll see at 9:05 or so. Okay, look at this Facebook out. Cha-ching! So again, if you guys are watching for the first time, let me know which video game this is from, because it's my favorite. We're going to the top side now. Facebook in at 178. Look at this out. Neil talked about it approaching 179. The day's high is 178.93. My out is 86. So that's a win right there. We'll still continue to hold our Facebooks long. Alibaba to the long side. If you're just joining us right now, let's put up our stocks again, and just to update what we have on. That big trade Alibaba, guys, I did shout that out on Twitter. So thank you to the viewer who brought us that one. Look at this price on Alibaba, guys. 123.09. It's $1.40 in the money. So that's a good trade there. CCL's 8 cents in the money. Disney's 40 cents on the short side, guys. We're short Disney. Look at Facebook, 58 cent winner. We just get into JPM. I got to address this, guys. JP Morgan long, breaking through 94. Let's go.
Just took out that Netflix trade. We talked about 2 to 250. We got 222, basically right in the middle of that one. So we'll floss that one off there. Nice little long. You could have added more to it if you're a little bit more aggressive than I was. I tried to get below 136 or 436. Wasn't quite able to get it, but a big win and a relatively strong name as the market slides upside. Brendan, what do you have for us?
A few oncology names showing some strength today, guys. Here's a name we haven't looked at in quite some time. CLVS, Clovis Oncology, 12%. Nice little look here, right at $9. Tried once to get above. We're trying again as we speak to get above $9 for CLVS, guys.
Yeah, and we're getting above everything right now. Everything right now is catapulting ourselves. All the positions, you can see all of my positions down below there, guys. We're even short on Disney. I have a bid right here. I don't know why we're not getting filled. In the 40s or 50s, that's why. It's at 45. So with the only name we're short here is Disney, and it is pulling down a little bit here. So $1.40 in the money. Look at Alibaba. We're going to take this off, man. 214.12, 214.50, sorry. $1.40 now in the money on this name. JP Morgan fades back down, but we did take two outs here, 15 and then 17, but now we're coming back to the downside on JP Morgan. We're getting into this bunched up area. I'm not going to hold this too much against us. Look at the futures coming back down though. So again, we don't want to have one trade ruin everything for the rest of us, but JP Morgan right now, south side, could be our only losing trade here, guys.
Yeah, I'm looking at that CYCC you guys were talking about here. You get these halts to the upside. I'm always looking for a retracement play if I've missed most of the parabolic move. It just halted higher again, so up 170%. Good volume, 2.5 million shares are done, but I want to see it open up at some point, and hold lower than 16. Then I'm going to be looking for a short in this name, and that's just the way I like to play these ones on the way up. I find it's a little easier to structure a trade to the south side as opposed to catching that ride up. It's more of a buy and hold long-term type trade. And as it opens up here after that volatility halt, it's still looking relatively strong. So it opens up above 17. Once I see this one settle down, I'm going to work into some kind of a short position. Of course, you have to make sure you got those locates in the first place. One other name you guys are talking about a little bit today, that IVR. I did reverse into the long trade at 3 when it did break. So the short was good in IVR, and then we got greedy not taking it off on this little pullback, but then it breaks through the top, and now it's a long to me in front of that same 280 level. So looking at the long in IVR, pulling back, still down 19%, but it's looking to fill that gap.
We're looking at JP Morgan here, trying to fill some gaps as well here. If we can get back above 94, that would be pretty sweet. And welcome to everybody. We're almost at that 800 club. I don't know if we've been there before, so air horn to everybody. 800 watchers now on the show, and I see we have 7,000 subscribers, so thank you so much to that. We continue to put the show on for free for you guys. And there it is, Disney, guys. So we're going to floss that one off. We are 4 or 5 longs and 1 short, and look at Disney, guys. We talked about that one going to the short side. I did like that. Again, it's against my own belief of this company, but we're going to wait to see here. Disney downside, that's the name that keeps moving this way, so we're going to watch that. Unfortunately though, our JPM now getting near this level, guys. I'm not going to hold it too much past this 60. We may get out of JPM very soon. This is the one that we tried to take that to the long side, but it did not work. I am also going to wait to see. We're going to give Baba one more chance down here, 213. 1382. If it breaks down below there, we'll get out. But Baba, right back to the upside and to the day's high. Alibaba, what a great winner. That's $1.50 in the month.
You look at those ones to the upside. Going to show you the to the moon situation there. If we can break through on the ES here, this 28.35 level we've been trying to get to a second time, then maybe that's going to get us the move that we're looking for in Facebook. But really, you also have to look at the NASDAQ trying to bounce up towards that 87.90. So watch both of those futures just to make sure we get a test of that high. And if we can't break through 179 this time, put in a lower high on Facebook, I'm going to now work out of this trade at this level. The 178.50 is going to be the new trail. I don't want to see this turn into what was a dollar winner. I don't want it to be less than, say, 50 cents or so. I just keep sliding my stop as it moves to the upside, and if it rejects lower, I got to do it one more time.
Yeah, 93.50 here. I'm just planning my trade here on JP Morgan as we average more in now at 93.81. So we just took some more shares there on JP Morgan. If you're following along, guys, try to do your best along the bottom. We talk about all of our trades. It shows our profits. It shows our positions. And every once in a while, Neil and I will also throw that through. But there it is, 813 watchers, guys. We go bullish on this. So congratulations to everyone being part of something special, we hope, here at Trader TV Live. CCL, Baba, Disney, Facebook, JPM, Microsoft, all that we have. What's up, Big V?
Hey Sean, I believe we need just one more like to reach 200 likes. Guys, thank you very much for your support. Hit the thumbs up. We're really trying for you, and we live every day from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern time. You know, if we reach 300 likes, it will be our absolute record. Please go ahead and hit the thumbs up if you didn't do that yet. And also, guys, keep questions coming on the chat. I'll be picking up and ask it directly to traders. Don't miss the opportunity to ask such a cool traders, and all of guys' trades are real. I'll be back with you, back to traders.
So I talked about TRNX. One of you guys asked, what's the best penny stock to trade today? If you're not looking at this one, the reason is 89 million shares in 10:20 in the morning, and that's what your opportunity is going to be. We talked about this one off of 45. We grabbed that little short here a couple of times. We were able to load into this one at 43. I gave you 36 as a target. It turns around at 37. That's fine. I still actually have the last of my shares in looking for that 36 level. But now let's talk about where you can get back in. Every single pop has been good. I think now 40 or VWAP is going to be those two levels that you work off of as we continue this trend. But you got to watch out here because I think 36 could give you a bit of a bounce play. And from there, if it moves aggressively, you want to slide that stop eventually back to 43. So one more try here in front of VWAP. And after that, we're looking for a higher retrace before we get back into TRNX. But now, with some other small caps to talk about, Brennan Wickens at the big screen.
Yeah, lots of opportunities in small cap world today. I'll mention a couple of them here that we talked about if you joined us at 9 o'clock this morning. NBY, the first one here, NBY.AM, 84% still to the upside. This is the one that had a new antibody test that they're going to start distributing in the U.S. So that was the reason for the gap to the upside. This thing was trading at 70 cents back on Friday, so worth noting. NBY all the way up to 175. You go out to a daily chart, I was talking about 160 to 175 as a bit of an area on NBY. We got all the way up to 175, turned on a dime, kind of grinding back to the downside, down to 130. This thing's done more than 30 million shares on the day, but really hasn't gone anywhere. So a little disappointing with this one. If we can get through this 130, a little bit of support around 120 in the pre-market, and then look out below. This one might be the type of trade. Look at that, we're breaking as we speak. This might be the type of trade that is going to take some time to kind of play itself out today. So we'll watch NBY. The other one, CODX. I did this to myself. I mentioned in the pre-market that every time this thing gaps to the upside on positive news surrounding the coronavirus, the short is great. Not today. Get stopped out above the high there. It's holding up really strong right now, 1520, 1525. They again today came out and said there's even more demand for their test kit. Guys, a couple of opportunities though. Back over to you.
Mentioned NBY there. I just took some more shares out there for myself at the 137 mark, and I still got those 143s looking for a bigger move down to 125, which is the target that we mentioned a bit earlier. That Codex, look, it was a fantastic short for me off of the open. Pre-market, we did take it at 90. You get here at 60s. We get some more out here right at the start here, 1430. We catch a pullback again, and then we get out for another 40-cent win. But then this is where it gets hairy for us. We get triggered out of this position right here at 1530. We're going to give it to that pre-market top. We do. It then recovers. But look at this. putting in higher lows the entire way. So Codex this time looking strong, and that's why you got to take profits. You can hold a core position on a trend trade, but at some point you got to be able to give it up and realize it's not going to go as far as you want it to. You can't have those winners turn into losers like we say over and over again, but it's an important thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, no, JP Morgan, here's another example right now of JP Morgan. We battled, we took some out here, then we averaged in, it dropped down, we got out, and then look, breaks 93.50 and we get out again before reversing. These are short candles, but we're not short yet. We did get out, this is that 93.50, us getting out. Now we're gonna look to go short here as it breaks through this little wicked area here of 93.25, and this is what we're talking about. If you hold your JP Morgan, and again, it's gonna seem crazy like we're trading like maniacs here, but we're using our hands. There's no algos here, anything that we're trading with. We're scalping, we're going back and forth. We don't pay retail. We have direct market access. So we'll have some explanation on that soon on some of our other YouTube videos. Actually, there's one up right now. But you're gonna see here, we have the opportunity to get in and out. So I did exactly that. Now we're gonna wait for JP Morgan. As noticing, guys, it's pretty weak. Even though it's only down 2%, a lot of these other names during this point, we're going down, we're going up when the market was going down, right? Look at the market here. It's not fading down nearly as much. You get a high of 28.38, you're now at 33, that's 5 handles down. JP Morgan makes the high of the day, then retraces basically back down to this low that we were at about an hour ago, so about 45 minutes ago. So let's see JP Morgan playing that to the south side, as right now we still have BABA and CCL, Microsoft and Disney. So still a few stocks to the downside here, but I think JPM is gonna be the weakest. We're gonna get short very soon.
Yeah, I'm looking at Facebook pullback in here, Sean. So again, that 179 fails. I get trailed out for that 50-cent winner that we talked about. I was looking for about $1 to $1.50 is a bit of a play, but you got to have a trail, and this is what you do because it comes all the way back into VWAP here, our original entry at that 177.96 mark. So it just bounced off it. If we can consolidate here, I think it's another long. But then again, I look at these futures about to test 89.80 again on the NQ. So let's see if we can't bust through there, reinforcing this long. Brennan, what do you got?
Another name having a very nice day. Overstock here, guys, almost 10% on the day. I guess I got above that 10% mark. We're also above $10 even. Just broke $10 on huge volume, coming back in a little bit of a pullback. No significant news on this one, but Overstock having a nice day as well, guys.
I didn't even notice, Overstock, I like that when their CEO stepped down a couple months, 6-8 months ago. We'll check out Overstock. I didn't even realize in all that chaos as we were talking there that Disney does go down out of this 102.15. That would have been a great out. We still are short here, 103. I'm going to put another order down here in the 20s or 30s, see if we can't catch a clean 80, 90 cents on that one. But here are the positions. We'll throw them up once again. We do always talk about this here. In the last one, Valeria was grabbing the coffee, so thank you for that, Valeria. But here we go. Alibaba's the long spot that we have on 2/3. This is $1.80 now in the money as the market back to the top side. My JPM is probably in the money, but that's okay. CCL 6 cents. We talked about that as well. Disney's 32 cents short. So 3 longs, 1 short, all of them winners. My Microsoft is $1.40 in the money. Microsoft now looks to be near day's high, guys. Let's keep this train going.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can wait on this Facebook too much longer. I do want it in this range, that 178 to 178.50. So once again, same structure as before. We'll take a first little bit, wanting to add in the middle of the range, but that's okay if it goes for us and makes a run to that high. We're still back in the trend. We just broke through that level on the NQ there, running towards 8,800. So we grabbed the long, starting it at 178.47 in Facebook. I'll add in the 20s if we can. That's about the price that I really, really like in front of VWAP. So nice little long trade that we added to here in Facebook. We've gone 1 for 1. Look to see if we can't repeat a little bit of that magic on this one. NBY, we continue to hold that one to the short side. I like the structure here. I like the fact that it's finally putting in a lower range and just slowly sliding to the downside. This is the kind of gap retracement I can get on board with here. Doesn't have to happen fast. If I got to hold it all day to get that 10% return, there's nothing wrong with that. I got my stop level. We can work back in on some pullbacks if we see fit, but otherwise we're just going to hang tight and go with the trend.
And here we go. We are into our JP Morgan. Just let you guys, wow, Microsoft, guys. This is $1.80 winner. So Neil likes chicken. He had it last night, and there's another one for you right now, a chicken dinner winner. Microsoft to the top side here. Way more aggressive than the market. We identified that early, and we hammered her. So there you go. That's the downside. MRNA, a lot of you guys talking about that. We are now in on a $52 break. 52.10 we're in on here. MRNA to the upside. Let's go. We got to get some out of this one. The spread is quite large there. It does tick as high as 52.50 there. We did not get any out. Did not even realize the spread was like 40 cents. But MRNA, we are now long 52.10 on this one. Let's layer our orders and get out as this thing keeps pushing up. MRNA long right now 52.
I'm looking at that Shaq. I'm looking at you, Robert. I see the same thing. I'm addicted sometimes to these sort of pullback type opportunities when something feels like it's overbought. I would like to see, it looks overextended. I get that, and that's what you're probably looking at for the short. But I really want to see it roll over a little bit to give me a little more confidence that we have a level to work with. Right now, you are seeing some failure between 44 and 44.40, but it's really very, very whippy action, and it's only $1 million in volume. It's a bit of a spread, so I'm going to pick my spot, and I want to see a little bit more selling and a little bit more weakness before we jump into this one. Brennan, what do you got?
There was actually some news on that Shaq today. They were returning a $10 million government loan, I believe it was, 10 million, somewhere in that kind of neighborhood, so they don't need it, so they're returning it, so that's good for them. Net here, another cloud name, guys, 7.5%, just broke day highs on decent volume, 27 probably next stop for NET, guys.
Okay, we did get some out of Moderna there, 52.30 there, so 52.26. Some of our shares out on Moderna. We did get out when it did break back down through 52 a little bit, but with this spread, we're going to wait all the way down here, 51.30, which is this bottom. So we're going to wait on that one. JP Morgan now 7-8 cents in the money ho-hum. We're going to wait to see if this can break through 93 here on a weak market. We do have JP Morgan short using 93.50 or so right here where we got out the first time. We're going to use that as our out. If this doesn't work for us, I'll be gone on JP Morgan. It's really only the only stock here that we've missed today as far as our analysis has been JP Morgan. But now I'm short, understanding this is weak. I think we get back here, guys, 92.50, 92.60. That's going to be my call on JPM. Let's see if we can get it.
And now we will go arrows continuing down. I mean, we've been short this one for a bit here. Actually, we started this position at 9.50. We worked into some more shares in our target range in NBY, and we will take a few more out. Now, still holding about 20%. As I mentioned, 125 was sort of your target range. We just took some out at 129. Again, you have to have a bit of a plan. I like that 10% return. I forget who it was. My apologies. I think it was a SIF on the chat there asking for what can give you a 10% return in the small cap. I talked about NBY shorts. I still think TRNX is probably the better trade overall because of its volume. But here's another one here, guys. NBY. 37 million is not bad itself. I just think TRNX is going to give you trades all day long. After this move is done in NBY, it could get a little bit tricky. But I'm still looking for this last out in front of 125, and then we're done.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some out here. JP Morgan just does crash there, 92.96. So we are waiting to see if we can get some out there, and then we'll work the rest, hopefully out 92.60 or so. But yeah, guys, welcome to the 800 Club. We've talked about that a couple times. You're now hopefully going to be part of something here as we grow this show.
Not hopefully, Sean. You are a part of something.
They are, yeah. Hopefully you'll guys, I mean, look, 7,000 subscribers. We just went live a couple months ago, so we're really proud of that one as well. We have Chris Vermillion coming from the Technical Traders, so you guys can find him on I don't know if he's on YouTube other than us, but he's been on CNBC. Check us out on LinkedIn, check us out on Facebook, Instagram for these posts, as well as on Twitter. Let's throw it now for our question from Valeria. What's up?
Hey guys, first of all, dear viewers, thank you very much for your support. We almost reached 300 likes. It's absolute record for our show. Guys, as I said before, have a huge trading experience, but our live show is relatively new to YouTube. That's why it's so important that you are supporting us. And as usual, we are trying to be even more helpful. That's why I'm choosing each hour a question from the chat and ask it directly to traders. Well, this is the question I picked for you, Neil and Sean. How much emphasis do you put on pre-market levels when analyzing trade opportunities after the bout, guys?
You know what? It's hilarious. I was just tweeting out this NBY trade, one that I had in the pre-market here. Right. And the first thing you got to think about for pre-market levels was there actually any volume that took place? And that's look, if it's on like 10,000 shares and a stock it's going to do millions throughout the day, then what difference does it make those levels? But if I'm watching something actually trading actively throughout that pre-market session, then yeah, I'm going to care about those levels. I want to see what happens there. Typically, whether it's the top or the bottom, those are the easy ones to pick out. But if you can find some interesting consolidation levels where there was actual volume, maybe some iceberg orders, big buyers and sellers in the pre-market maybe tipping their hand, yeah, I'm going to care. But it all comes down to volume. With no volume significance, and I'm not going to care too much about them, I'm going to throw them out. Bit of a pro tip though, the volume restriction can be lightened up a little bit if you can find that level coinciding with something on a higher time frame. I love to double up, see a level maybe from days or weeks ago, maybe even a session the day before, higher low, or maybe a nice little pivot area, and then use that in conjunction with it popping up again in the pre-market. Then I'll use it a little bit more aggressively, even if it's on lighter volume.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, join us every day. I mean, great job there. Join us at 9 o'clock. We'll talk all about pre-market levels. And yeah, of course, we use them as we're going throughout the day here. And, including JP Morgan. I'm using it right now, guys. So here's a great example. I think JP Morgan can get back into these pre-market levels here. So look at this short, guys. That's a good one. It just pops up here to 25. We take the short, then we get back out at 11. So you want to do scalping. There you go. Disco ball for this. This is called scalping too. It's essential. Perfect almost. You get short on these little bumps up, then you get out when it retraces back down. Now we'll see if we can't cover more down here. But yes, these are the pre-market levels we're talking about for sure. mRNA, yeah, we tried to go long there. And then what the? Okay, it goes all the way down here to 23, and we just got out before it bouncing right back to 85. So that's a bad out there, but we get wicked down there. Not sure what happened, but obviously the market does move. So we take about a 70-cent hit, but then within 1 minute later, it's back up 50 more cents. So cry a river on that one, but that's okay. JP Morgan comes down to the downside. Our Microsoft also, guys, gets out here basically at the day's high, 177.93. If we were doing a trade of the day, it might just be this one. That's $1.40. We only take one long, and it was right away when the market opened up here. You can see we take a long 176. We let it fall down, make a base here at 176, then get comfortable taking the long at 60, and bang, bang, bang. Then the last out rate here, we get a little nervous as it almost goes positive, back to negative, but then we hold the rest to the upside. Wow, that Moderna, what a bad out that was. Back now, damn it, back above 52. So unfortunately, we fall in a hole. Not sure how that triggered, but yeah, our net could be a hell of a lot higher if we still held on to that one. But hey, look, you got to be disciplined, and sometimes those triggers will hit, guys.
Yeah, and I'm just going to talk about Facebook when we get back from our good friend Brennan. What do you have for us, buddy?
Just seeing a big pop in CGC, guys. Huge move through 1550. Was a little bit of a high in the pre-market there. I guess it was after the open. Another high back here on Friday. So huge volume spike on CGC. They announced that they've introduced topicals to their line of CBD products here in Canada, guys.
And I mentioned that I would talk about Facebook. Good look there, Brennan. It's 420. You got to throw these things in here, obviously. But it's good to know that there are some names to watch in the space. I talk about Facebook. A couple of times. The first time I got into this long, we got trailed out when it failed at 179. So the second time we test that level, I can't ignore the fact that there could be some resistance. I take it out in front. We catch a 50-cent win. But I'm still going to take a break here. If we can break 179 even, then we'll jump back into the long. But I'm anticipating that with that resistance here, it could give me a pullback re-entry. And if it does that, I will take in profit twice while still working for more positions, whether that's going to be a pullback into 178, whether that's going to be a break of 179. I like both of those things in Facebook. Relative strength here, 8,800 was taken and then came back on the NQ. But the market is trying to come back here, almost positive on the day in the NASDAQ.
Yeah, the market is definitely trying to come back here. We're still waiting for this Alibaba. CCL, man, we're pretty small on CCL going upside. We will check out CGC in a minute. That's been a good trade. But when you miss the move on some of these weed names, like obviously we did here on this one, thanks to Brendan bringing it to our attention. Never too late to have a quick look. Here's CGC up at 4.5%, a little bit. Topicals, sure. I mean, CBD probably is the next little wave here. That might be the one that gets the government going to somehow legalize even more on this front. So 1585 now going on CGC. If you break it back down, we haven't been here in a bit. The daily chart for me, and I know Brendan was just talking about this, but just to give myself a little bit of a look here, the 50 period is actually right here. What is this high? 1640. So we're getting awfully close, man. What a great bottom. That was $9. Almost a complete V shape. Now we're struggling. We'll see if CGC can't get out of the self range here. Maybe breaking through 16, looks good.
Yeah, I'm also looking at SFET. I like to call it SFET, SFET here. Massive pullback. And again, when I've missed a move like this, is a play that I'm usually liking, back through the pre-market bottom. The only thing you can watch is a test of that actual low at $1.80, and then if it bounces higher, let's see it into VWAP. I think once you've missed a move, I don't want to jump too aggressively into this name. I know a couple of you asked about it. Modern there, you have a 223 short. Again, if you already have that break, which is what I would have liked, this is where you hang on. I would take some profit in front of 180. I feel like you almost have to. when you see that little bottom being put in, but you want to hang on to some in case there is that break of $1.80. So fantastic trade for me. I don't see an entry point unless it pulls back to about 210 there, but a great trade if you already have it. Facebook, we did grab that one long, 179.05, when it just broke out. So a couple of longs and 2 for 2 on that name. And this is a nice little uptrend. We're looking to see if we can put another leg to the upside. We did talk about it turning positive at 179.30. That's the level that we like. You go to the daily chart, there's not a heck of a lot to work with till you get about to 181. So this is one of those things that the market gets going. You can hang on to Facebook and keep adjusting the trailing stop, which has been my plan so far, and it's working to a T. So as we go arrows up on Facebook, we have our third long of the day. See if we can't make it 3 for 3. For now, my stop is going to be down in this 178.40 range, 60 range. So I want to give it some room on this third long. Brendan, what do you got?
I know a little pharma name here, VXRT, Vaxart up about 14%. Trying here to make new highs on the day. Look at the volume coming in on this thing as well at about 225 here, big time level for VXRT. Not seeing news on this one, but in that same kind of pharmaceutical group as the rest of these that we've been talking about, guys.
VXRT, okay, good little name there. And our Alibaba goes to the moon. Wowzers, guys, look at this long. This is the only long that we had on Alibaba all day. 213. We're trying to hold longer, and we are. So we still have about this 1, 2, 3. We have 20% left. 4 outs here, each 20%. Now we're holding this all the way to the top side. 212.25 right now, long Alibaba. So this is a $2 winner on this name as we go. We did take CGC long there, 92s, as we thought it was getting going here on this candle. We're going to wait to see what it can do. We're going to average in a little bit here, 80s, and then use this kind of as a bottom here, breaking through 75. So CGC, I don't know. I hope that wasn't kind of like a false break on here, but we're going to wait to see. Still up 5%. Try to average in on this one. Look at the spread, guys. Even though this is a name that you could trade over there in Canada, we are going to look at CGC here. Canopy growth to the long side. I'm long 92, looking to average in probably about 82 or so. So then we'll have an average price in the middle of the 80s here, and then dump it if it does break below 1570, unfortunately. If it gets to that, I'm looking at a 16 break.
Yeah, I'm looking at Smile Direct here. So it made another leg to the upside. It got up to 510. So it was up, 7.5%, 8% to the upside. It's giving you a nice tight range at the high end here. $5 holding, at least for the time being. It's gotten a little bit lower a couple of times, but the structure I like is you break out long, and that'll be one of those opening range type break plays. You look at the first 20 minutes. That's a 510 top, very clean. You can work into a short at this price, about 5, and then you work maybe 10 cent worth of risk. A VWAP retracement gives you basically a 10 cent worth of reward. So you take a little bit off out there if you get a short opportunity, and then you hang on to the rest to fill in that gap with a 510 stop. I like it. We're going to jump into some Smile Direct for the first time today to the short side with a reversal long at 510. But while we do that, I see a sea of red up on the big screen. That means it's time for Brendan and our sector watch.
Hey guys, yeah, sector watch time. Let's have a look at what is pushing the overall S&P 500 into negative territory. Still about a percent here, 1.09% to the downside at this point. So obviously much better than we were, but still a lot of things in negative territory. A little real estate group here popped up this morning. We were mentioning a couple of those earlier on, still in negative territory overall. Some debt issues, obviously. Mortgage-backed securities, not the place to be, but VNO, Kim, and REG, the leaders there, 4.5+% on all three to the downside. Tech stocks are negative on the day. Outside of the hardware equipment makers, though, software companies and semis both in negative territory. So overall, not a bad day. We are negative, but not by a lot. For tech stocks, real estate, utilities, and healthcare, also all in negative territory. We had the big move in oil. We'll talk about that in a second, but I wanted to mention industrials here. CARR about 5% to the upside, helping to offset some of this other weakness here. URI, TTGE, and Boeing all at least 3.5% plus in negative territory. So industrials, big time red today, leading the market lower. There's AAL, there's UAL as well, 3.5%, 4%. Delta, a little one in there, also in negative territory. So some of the airlines having troubles so far today. Consumer discretionary stocks also in negative territory. L Brands and where to go? I lost it there, but L Brands among the leaders, 4%. Lennar and PVH. Some of the home builders in that group down about 5% also, but Yeah, here's the energy group over here. Oxy still leading 7.5% negative territory. HP 5%. We have XOM there as well, about 2.5%. But a lot of those have come off the lows that we saw early on this morning. Still about a full percent, guys, in negative territory. Back over to you.
Thanks a lot there. And look, lesson to be learned as always, and it's going to be if you look at a name and it's going to be on your watch list, especially if you want to be shorting it, make sure you got those locates. I just had to find some there in Smile Direct. I talked about the structure of the trade. I'm only paying a couple of cents here. I think it's worthwhile, so we went ahead and did it. However, what if I miss that breakdown? We're still in our target entry range, but if I miss that breakdown because I'm hunting for those locates, which only take a minute for me to get here at Day Trade the World, I could miss out on a potential winner. So make sure you do your preparation. You got a stock on your watch list. If one comes up to your attention, make sure that you have everything you need to execute your strategy effectively. So I'm going to try and get these shares in this 499 to 505 range on the short, reversal long at 510 in Smile Direct.
Okay, we're going to try not to make the same mistake again. We go long MNRA, breaking through the day's high here, 42.40. We get long, 42.45. So a good little out. Take it out right away at 70. That's a 35 penny winner. Now let's see if MRNA can't keep going to the top side. We did get out on this wick, which we had no intentions really of that happening to us. I would much rather it faded down than us get out. But right here, we're our first long 52. It would be a 70-cent winner now. So we go long again on that break of the day's high. mRNA Moderna up big time here now as well. Thanks to Brendan for talking about some energy names. We take XOM breaking through the high of the day. It goes right away in the money, like 13 pennies or so, but 42.20 right now we're long as it's coming back down just a little bit here. That's okay. We know these names are going to be quite volatile. Look at this bump up from 42, so we got to watch out for XOM to the top side now. mRNA though, now almost $1 in the money, so we go from taking this trade to now smoking it to the top side here. Happy 420 to everybody. It gets as high as 53.50 there. That would have been $1. Why don't I have any orders at these wicks? I'm going to put another one up here somewhere, so if that does pop again, we can get out. But right now, mRNA looking like it's a smoke show right here, Neil.
Yeah, you talk about smoke shows. I'm going to slap shot it here. Oh, you know what? Nice. You used the right one. I should be using that on 420. There is no hockey, and I'm firing off snapshots, but that's fine. You know, with 3 for 3 here on Facebook, and I'm just going to be all over this one. Talk about the long trend. I'm not necessarily a gamer, but I can understand that people like Twitch, the same reason you love this show. And when Facebook's going to jump in for some competition, that's fantastic for them. I talked about it turning positive on the session. It just did. I took some shares off there of our 178.85 long in front of that high. So 40-cent win there. We've ripped off 50-cent win, and then another 50-cent win there, and now a 40-cent win. So that's how you can play $1 to $2 trend by getting in and out. Now we got a core position on here because we thought when it turned positive on the day, hold above 8,800, we talked about wanting to maintain that long trend trade. So the pullback was fantastic. It's going to look like a perfect entry, but sometimes you get a little bit lucky. You know, it could have gone another 20, 30 cents against me and been okay, but we did have a stop down there. Facebook been just an unbelievably good long. Look at this trend. Didn't have it from the bottom. Just because you're late to the party doesn't mean you can't have some fun dancing and playing, guys. Facebook, a great one.
Yeah, Facebook's been fantastic. Facebook's one of my top stocks as well, Neil. So good call now on anybody watching Facebook. Okay, JP Morgan, I guess we must have missed our out or something, but normally I get out here at 93.50. So I've just been so busy managing. So unfortunately, we get the most, half of our position out here at 93. Check out this at 93.60, sorry. Check out the futures though, now ripping to the top side. Look at XOM, guys. We hammered that 42.21. That goes against us about 10 pennies before now ripping up 10 pennies. So that one keeps going to the top side as well. CCL, boom, we are out of that one. What a great trade on CCL. Shout out to everybody watching the show. You know we've had that the whole way. We take some out 35. Now I get some out at the ultimate high of the day. Ho-hum on that one. XOM still ripping up. Moderna, look at this out, guys. I said we're going to make a fool of ourselves once again. So Pokeroo goes, good job there, bro. We get out at 53.30 on that move. So the wick upside pays us off there. We're now very light on mRNA. We're letting that one run to the top side. CGC we averaged in here. Oh, we actually got some out at 75 on that break. Yeah, nice one. Before it rips back up. So that's why we're up on CGC, but not as much as I thought. So CGC out half there, out half up here. Now let's see if we can't run this to the top side. We're along 1584 on Canopy. Let's see if we can't take 16 some size here though.
And with Facebook moving in our favor once again, it's time to slide our stop up. We took profits out. It just made a fresh high at 179.47 in front of that 50 mark. So once it tests another level higher, that's when I'm going to move my stop up. If it breaks 50, we'll look for a profit-taking opportunity. We're in the money 70 cents. And again, we've been taking 40 to 60 basically on all of these plays. This time, I think we can try to get more with the futures in our favor. So I'm going to keep moving this trailing stop and not looking for anything aggressive out till about 180 even, which would be an over dollar winner. Facebook, the gift that keeps on giving. As long as you have structure, as long as you have some stops, some lines in the sand, I think you're fine. But this one, you want to see if you can't hang on for a bigger move as the market finally looking strong.
Yeah, this 178 punch that we had, wow. Again, you can't have a crystal ball and figure out this is what's going to happen to the market. I didn't think today would be a very positive day at all. Wow, wrong on that one. You can see we bounce off 2,800 pretty strong, and now they're up to 2,850. If you can look at the futures, watch out for where we're at right now. This 2,840 level, we've had some problems here at 2,830. This is back, and then as you get up here, 2,850, we've bounced off a couple times before retracing back down. So watch out now. The futures right at that 2,850 mark. This could mean something, but what it does mean for our Alibaba, this is now a huge winner, guys. If you check the board, we're long right here, 213 even. It's at 215.50. So you want the big time winners? How does $2.50 sound? Punch that in his mouth. Alibaba, big time win coming on that one. And here goes XOM. This is 20 plus cents in the money as well. Let's take some of this out. We hammered this one, breaking through 42.20. That was a day's high.
And breaking through on Oxy as well on the day's high. The other one that broke through the top, we talked about Smile Direct. It was a very, very tight trade in between that 5 and the 510. So we get about 504 as an average price short. It breaks through and we reverse to the long side. So you can't keep Smile Direct Club down. It seems up 11% on the session and then breaking this opening range as the futures are going as well. So I'm going to see if we can't quickly update the position board to tell you guys what we're working with here. I just mentioned Smile Direct. That's along through 512, a reversal. I still have TRNX short. I like this one at 43. Hasn't given me that 36 yet. Our last 20% we're holding for that. Hasn't given me a good pullback to add back in that I like. But also $1 in the money is going to be Facebook, and that's like our third long in Facebook. Actually, technically our fourth because we did catch a reload there. So a couple of longs, one short. The shorts in a small cap penny stock. It doesn't really matter. It's a long side move here as we just turned positive on the NASDAQ. Still trailing on the ES here, and that's been a disconnect that's been happening for quite some time now. So almost 1% still down on the ES while the NASDAQ looking very, very strong.
Yeah, I'm just trying to cancel some orders here as we just keep getting some fills and making that money. So mRNA, we're still long 52.45. That's a big winner. That's to the moon all day here. Hopefully we can even create more action here to the top side as we're going. So I have multiple dollar winners on Alibaba, mRNA right now. XOM looking like it's pretty good here. Disney not doing much. CGC, guys, unfortunately, I mean, look at this one. Hit it. There's Weed Batman. We're back in the building. I don't know how much better I can give this one to you guys. We got out some at 75 there, but we reloaded. Now we're back up 93. Then we get out 1608. Thank you to Brendan for that one. But we are now long some of these weed names, and what a great out that was. 1610 up there on CGC off of our long, which is 1584. So that's another 25 penny winner on CGC. The hits just keep coming, guys. Join us today, tomorrow, the next day, every day except Saturday and Sunday, which, hey, maybe we'll even do a show at that point.
If they open the markets up, then we'll be there to trade. And certainly, look, the markets never die. Ultimately, there's something to talk about and something to look at all times. Now, I talk about this trend trade in Facebook, and one thing I've been doing is continuously sliding our stop. And so why I'm going to slide it again is you have a test of 180. Look, it did make this massive move here in this last couple of minutes here, trying to get to that 180 mark. It stalled out at 179.87. So when I see that, I want to put a trail in, make sure we lock in again about 50 cents worth of profit. If it wants to extend the move and give us $1.50, $2, I think that's still possibly in the cards. But we're rolling over a little bit here, at least trying to, at 28.50 on the ES, and the NASDAQ, getting that 88.25 mark, still looking strong. So you want to make sure you have that upside trade, continue to hold on to some, but I don't want this one to turn too far back into a smaller win when it's been so good on the upside, 40 to 60 cent wins all throughout this trade on Facebook. We're in the money a buck, now trailing it to make sure that this one is no worse than a 50 cent win.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same right now for Alibaba, just setting this up. No worse than a $2 winner on Alibaba. We'll see if we get out. If it does break back below 215, of course, that'll be $2 straight cash on that one. CGC back up to 1610. We talked about that one. I did want to talk about XOM, guys. This is our first long, 41. Bang, destroyed it. One of my top stock. Hit this one again, bang. Shout out to Brendan for this one, as he noted that energy was back to day's high. We take that long again. Another 20, 30 cent winner, guys. It's all about the share size. Hit it aggressively on stocks that you're comfortable with. But now we're comfortable throwing it over to the big screen for Money Talks with Brendan. What's up?
Hey guys, yeah, currency time. We'll have a look at some of the major pairs around the world. Not terribly exciting moves in currency world today, but a couple of key things to note here. Both the British pound and Canadian dollar to the downside, about the same amount. We're seeing some Canadian dollar weakness, just worries about the economy going forward. Not enough stimulus possible. So down about 0.3% for the CAD today, back to 71 and change. We got above 72 at the end of last week. British pound here to the downside as well, about 0.3%, 124.5. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson came out early on this morning, and said, once again, reiterated that they're going to take a more cautious approach when it comes to reopening their economy. So that had the pound moving to the downside once again. Japanese yen and Swiss franc, little change today. The yen was higher, Swiss franc not really doing a lot. Both the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar having nice days, back to the upside. Really got hit last week with some economic data, but moving higher once again. At the bottom here, have a look at Bitcoin. Not really moving today, 7,000 and change. Ethereum, though, a couple of positive notes out over the weekend when it comes to Ethereum, up 5.25% today, 179 versus 7,000 and change for Bitcoin. Guys, back over to you.
Okay, yeah, Chicago, good look there. Yeah, we're getting so many trade setups. You want to grow extra hands, whatever you can. I think it's one of those things where you just have to focus in. You got a bit of a watch list. You have the names that you're comfortable with, and then sort of stick to that as you can at best. And for me, it has been Facebook to the long side. I just get trailed out there, so we'll go with a slap shot again. Another lock into that 50 cents, and I'm going to continue to play that trend as long as it wants to be there. You guys are asking about oil and Oxy, and look, I have Oxy, which is pushing to the top side there. You go to the main contract, still sliding to the downside. However, if you do roll up and look at the forward contract, it's making a base here around this 23 mark to the upside. So it's one of those things where the spread is much larger, obviously, than normal. And this is why you're seeing a little bit of strength in some of these bigger names when it comes to Oxy or XOM, continue to push high. So you can't just sit there and watch this cratering to $10 when that's expiring tomorrow. You have to look at the overall picture. That's why you can't force those shorts too heavily in Occidental or maybe XOM or whichever you happen to be looking at.
Yeah, the only trade that we have any problems with here is JP Morgan. Like we meant to get out at 93.50 and then we kept averaging in, so this is a problem. So we're going to be getting near the day's high on JP Morgan, and this will be coming out here as we're going to break this any minute now on JP Morgan. 94.50. We'll probably hold it until that spot. But this is the initial long that we liked. Now JP Morgan pushing higher and higher as this just keeps going. mRNA as well gets into the money about $2. We don't take it. Now we're going to wait to see what that stock wants to do. I still think we could break 54 and get to 55 today on Moderna. So that's going to be a big winner as well. Look at Disney. We go long 103 and change. We're up to 103.60 now. Disney rocking and rolling. That's a nice little winner. That's 21 cents. So we're all over the place here. XOM's a nice little 32-cent winner. Still breaking day's high. We still have XOM on as well. And here it goes. XOM, guys. This is another 35-cent winner. We just keep rocking and rolling today, guys. Welcome to the show. 800 viewers. 7.1 subscribers, 1,000, so that keeps going. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Make sure you're back with us every single day, and we'll keep trying to find these winners for you. Look at XOM in once at 41, in again at 42.20. We just keep ripping upside right now. I have 180 fills today. It's been an active day and a very profitable one.
I know you guys have been talking about Shake Shack. Yes, it is a massive move to the upside. You talked about, I know a couple of you were talking about shorting it. I mentioned to you why you didn't want to do so. You've got to be patient on on a squeeze like this, guys, you have to wait for it to actually not only consolidate, but push lower. See some actual sell action below one of these levels that it's trying to hold. So I am stalking this puppy, and at some point I'm going to take a shot at it, but it's just not here. You can't just say, oh, it's up and it's extended, so I'm going to jump into the short. You can't do that. You have to be patient. Wait for your move. It's going to be a good one at some point, I think. It just hasn't happened yet. So not for me on Shake Shack, but I can go back over to something which I do think is going to be a bit of a short, and that's going to be Codex, up 15%. It tested this high a second time, 1550, pushed through to 70, now came back into VWAP here. So we're back at that 15 mark, which we used in the open to make a nice short, both pre-market and right at the open. I'll try it one more time. You had the pre-market top at 1525. That was tested right back here at 1040 about 15 minutes ago. I like the short in front of it one more time. It's 1525 to 1530. That's my out. Short right in here in Codex.
Yeah, we're going to get some out here on Disney as well. It's bouncing around as the S&P is right now at 28.53. So Disney, we're long 108.37. There we go. Did we just get some? No, we did not get hit there. It went all the way as 103, 104 there. Should have took some out on Disney. Disney, obviously, I love the stock, but it has been relatively weak. Look, you still see on here, down 3% today in a surging S&P and NASDAQ. So we'll look to take some out if it can get back into the 60s or high 50s. But now it's fading back down through. So here, our Alibaba still doesn't want to get out, man. We're still waiting for a 215 break to get out of that one. We have 30 plus pennies in the money now on XOM. We actually got out at the high of the day there. What is this price? 42.62 is our out there. So big smile to go on XOM. But right now, yeah, we're rocking and rolling, guys. Moderna 52.45. We're long at. That's about $1 in the money. Still waiting for more on that. But yeah, the only losing trade that still continues to be a bit of a mess is this JP Morgan. I didn't average in. We're going to use this high of the day as our out. I don't like this stock anymore. We may just get out of it if we can get back to 94 and change, but we still are short 93.70. Not a good name on JP Morgan.
Guys, pigs get slaughtered, and I'm going to show you NBY. I could have used the perfect here, but I'm not going to. I know Sean loves that one. Street Fighter. I like Street Fighter 2. More of a Mortal Kombat guy a little bit back in the day, but we gave you a target range for this trade. We don't just make these up out of nowhere. You looked at that pre-market level here at 125, and that was your target out. You had a couple of tests of it. It couldn't break. It got a couple of pennies below. So yeah, you take 123, 124. I don't care. 125 was the level I get out 126, and that's where we bounced. I did mention, however, I would take one shot at a retrace. If we can test VWAP, hold below, then I'll jump back into a short. But that's what I have to see. It hasn't happened yet. What we did see and we did jump into was just now some Codex at 1505. I just went over that with you, but we jumped into the trade, guys. So we got some at 1505. I'll add within this range here. I want to see it hold this sort of VWAP in the middle, and then this 1485 to about 1525 to 30. We'll work into the middle of that range if we can, or even better. And I'm looking for a break of 1480. If it does that, first leg out in front of this little wick here down to 75. Second leg, we're looking for 1460. And then ultimately a retest of that 1420 bottom. I've seen Codex do this. It gives you that opportunity. Now that you're playing with house money, if you had the short with us earlier, certainly you can expand things just a little bit. But don't get too greedy. Don't let it break that 1530 stop. It can be an area stop and let it go a few cents, or it can be a hard stop. Got to have one or the other.
52. Yeah, I was just looking at mRNA. Yeah, good analysis there, guys. That's why Neil gets paid the big bucks. We're going to wait to see here. If we could break above 54, I still like this mRNA. I cannot believe we got wicked out there, because this would have been bang, 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 and all the way to the top side. We get a little bit lucky on JP Morgan fall. I mean, luck or not, I mean, the futures are bouncing off 28.50, kind of like what we thought. We're going to sit on the bid here in the O's and see if we can't get some more out of our JP Morgan. This is our only bad trade right now all day. We're not red on anything else. JP Morgan to the downside, 93.80. Yuck, I don't like it at all. XOM, we still got 23 pennies in the money on this one. mRNA, we just talked about that. We're long here at 52.45. Again, this was a break of 52. We took it. Then we took the break of 52.40. And now we're going to wait to see upside here. I have some bids or some offers, high 54s. So maybe we get wicked all the way up there. And look at Alibaba, guys. The name that just keeps on going. This is day high. You want big big winners. How does $2.50 sound? Shout out to the Raptors. What's your favorite team? You can put that in the chat as well. I'm sure the Raptors would deal with you unless it were the Lakers. I thought this was the Lakers' chance to win this year. Poor LeBron James.
But Sean, if they shut down the season, then we're champs for 2 years,
still
baby.
Champs.
That's what we're talking about. We're defending champs.
But do you buy that though, Neil? I mean, come on.
No, it's obviously it doesn't count.
Yeah, I'm not going to hang my hat on that one.
No,
Raptor
you
Nation
can't.
will be back next year, and we'll try to win it legitimately once again. JP Morgan crashes down, and we actually get those 08s, guys. So really happy with that. The net is still intact. We still continue to rock and roll today.
Brendan, what do you got, buddy?
I think, guys, we're
sorry.
For Valeria, we'll go over to Valeria.
Hello everyone, welcome to European Update. Well, Europe pretty in the mostly negative territory today. Britain is up just 0.14%. Germany is down 0.05%. France is down 0.07%. Spain is down 1.2%, and Russia is down 0.7%. Some quick news from Europe. European CDC announced that there are more than 1 million coronavirus cases on the continent. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson says that by easing the lockdown too quickly may lead to the second wave of coronavirus outbreak. The UK government will also cover 80% of workers' wages while they're on the paid leave sick. That's all for now, and I'll keep you updated. Back to guys.
So I just type in the chat there, and look, we take a win on that Codex position, but ultimately I'm going to go WTF, and I could have used fail, doesn't really matter, but I keystroked out. I wanted to take some out in front of this little WEC here, 75s, and we did do that with some at 81, but then as I went to adjust an order for a target, I kind of put in the wrong price and ended up removing liquidity, taking out the rest. It's a winning trade, but ultimately I both didn't get more shares on the push up, which not much I can do about that above VWAP, but I also want to make sure we held some shares in case you got that flush that I talked about through 1460 and then down to 1420 ultimately as a bigger home run target. Now we have to wait for a pullback. I'm not taking anything unless it's around 15. Some of you guys are asking about VWAP. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we get back from Brendan. What do you got?
We were talking about this one earlier. We were mentioning some strength right across the entire oncology group today. EXEL. This is the one they teamed up with Bristol Myers to work on a cancer treatment that's come up on the positive side when it comes to results from a trial. But just testing day highs here on EXEL, 25% already today, guys.
Welcome to the show, everyone that's just tuning in, guys. We got about an hour left of our trading. Of course, we do trade throughout the rest of the day. But importantly, we end the show here. We want you guys to jump in every single morning pre-market because some of the names that we're talking about, we will have had pre-market levels that we're working off of, or they would have been on our watch list. So you want to make sure you stay tuned to get some of those key levels, and then you get a bit of a better idea of how we're playing some of these stocks. Like Codex here, this is already my fourth structured trade. We'd have more fills than that, but it's been 4 separate trades here in Codex. This one, again, like I said, a bit of a mistake, but you talk about both your winners, your losers, your mistakes, the things that you did poorly on. And one of those for me was certainly Occidental this morning. And again, I liked the structure of this, trying a bit of a short with the opening range, working something in the 1230 range and taking it. You took some on the breakout, but only about 20%, so I could work into more shares in front of 1250. 1250 turned out to be a key price, as it was support after it broke upside, but I was bearish on the name, so I take a hit there. The level was good because clearly it ended up being support after the break, but you had to play it both ways. I was very, very bearish, so I was a little bit biased in Occidental, and it kind of screwed me over there. But either way, you win some, you lose some. Oxy, that's my loss on this day. However, Valeria, who I know you guys want to see, is ready with something. What do you got?
Just join us and shout out to those who are with us the whole morning. Guys, we reached more than 300 likes, 333. It's absolute record for the whole existence of our show. Thank you very much for your support, and we promise you will be getting better with each day. Hopefully we are being helpful and entertaining. Also on the chat I received a lot of questions if guys trading after 12 p.m. Well, yes, of course, they are trading the whole trading day and they post their trades and charts on the Twitter. So I'll send you the links, follow them right after the show, and I'll see you later. Back to traders.
There we go. Thank you, Ms. V, for that one, and shout out to those questions. Yeah, we do not trade live with you guys after 12 o'clock. We have meetings. We make the show bigger and better. Brendan lines up all the guests. So lots to do afterwards. We're working on some videos, some new education pieces as well that I know Valeria's mentioned a couple times. I'm going to take a sip of coffee here, Neil.
Sean here, I'm actually looking at that TRNX. I'm going to adjust my strategy here if I watch this level, here at 40 cents. And we're in the money here, that 43. I am going to reload below 40, put a trail in. So what will end up happening is we'll see if we can't work an average price in below that 40 range as we still hold on to 20%. But now we have a stop below VWAP, and it's going to be 40. And again, I don't like having stops at VWAP. I'm going to use a level below it here. It needs to break. If it wants to do that, that's fine. We've already profited heavily from this one. But I want to see it test at 36 again. Ultimately, even if we add, I'm still looking to take everything out in front of 36. That'll be less than a 10% return on those shares. Brendan, what do you got?
A little one we were watching last week, guys. Works, WORX, to the downside today, 8% in negative territory. Just sitting here right above 6 even. Not a lot of volume or participation behind this, but if we let go of 6 or we start moving back to the upside, this thing's got a lot of room either direction. So tight little consolidation here on that WORX, guys.
Yeah, that's a good name. We did look at that last week, 100%. A good look there, Brendan. We take this Disney now. We get back to positive on this name finally. Disney long 103.40 here as we go. And now you're going to see upside. We just took some out 80s. So Disney's been in a little bit of a range today. And that's why I said in the beginning, wasn't super excited about it. So we take the short, get out, then get out for the last little bit there. Go long now. So we take the short, win, win, win. Our first short was a loser. Win on that one, then win again back to the upside here. Disney continues to rock and roll. mRNA, man, all the way back down. I guess we failed at that 54 level. We're going to use 52 here or so as our out, and just to regroup that stock. We're going to be probably up on it, but again, depending where we get out. I mean, the spread is only 10 cents now, but when it moves around, it gets spicy. So you can see what happened to us down here. We got a 70-cent wick to the downside there. That hurt us a little bit. So mRNA right back to where we got in. Good thing we did capture some profits. Got a little greedy, guys. Could have took $2, but didn't.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Smile Direct. It's still up that 10%. They gave you that break of the opening range and sort of a double top there at 510 that we reversed into the long. Not doing a heck of a lot. So it's tried to break lower. It's managed to hold 505, which I was using $5 as a level, but not anymore. I look at that 505, and with the lack of further pressure to the upside in Smile Direct and it being up so much already, I am going to slide to a tighter stop. These wicks were terminated by a bit of a buyer there at 505. So you're now risking less than 10 cents on this trade, which is not a heck of a lot. But again, you've missed the parabolic move upside. The futures are still looking pretty strong here. So I think Smile Direct can have another leg in it, but I don't want to bet too heavily. A couple of ways you can do that: either trim your shares or have a tighter stop. I'm going with the tighter stop based on what I've seen so far. Brendan, what do you got?
Another vaccine-related name here, VBIV, just getting some volume coming into it, guys. 46% on the day. Look at the buying, though. Big-time move from 160 up to 185 on huge volume. Have a look at VBIV, guys.
VBIV. I would love to look at that in a second here. XOM, we are now out of it. One of the best stocks for me today. So we'll throw the cash around. Is it going? What happened there? I don't know if that cash register worked there or not. But we've been hammering XOM today. I just took it out there as we come right back to where I was in, 42.22. We get out of the last 2 or 3% there. A lot of fills happening on XOM, including our best one at the top here. We hold a little bit to get out back at the bottom, but that's okay. XOM, we are now out of it. JP Morgan comes all the way back to life. We are short here, 93.94. It's bumping up a little bit right now, but nice outs down here, 94.07 to sort of ease the pain. And look, guys, we're not going to win on everything. I have 188 fills today. So we're not going to win on all of those, but definitely I'm trying to get 60, 70, 80% as some good spots here. 94.25 looking like it wants to break. Maybe we just dump this JPM and not even give it all the way back here. This stock has been so frustrating for me today. Anybody having any luck out there on any of these financials? If so, type the symbol in and we'll definitely have a look.
Yeah, you know what? The financials for me all last week has been a rough one to read. They're like a trader here was calling them the Widowmakers because they've been tricky to trade on the floor for all that. Well, people are remoting in here. We're doing our social distancing. Usually a full floor behind us. You're not seeing that now for obvious reasons. I see a few of you asking, what's the best broker to trade? How do you get access to pre-market? Valeria just popped in the chat. We trade with Daytrade the World here. We have access to pre-market. We have access to basically every single gateway. correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, it's 60 markets that we have, and maybe one or two more than that, but either way, that's what it's all about for us. So we have a lot of access to trade, not just the US names that you're seeing us do, and maybe the futures as well, but all across Europe. And that sort of brings me to something that we do throughout the day, and we do it in the morning, and we talk about the different profits that we have within the company in the last session. And on Friday, 5 figures were made on the top of almost every single one of our major markets. Someone pulling almost $17,000 out of the New York. Someone pulled $16,000 out of the Amex, formerly Amex. London, $15,000. Paris, $14,000. Germany, $13,000. These are the top traders by market. Someone grabbing $11,000 out of the NASDAQ. So, here at Day Trader, we have access to all those markets. Pre-market over here in the U.S. market. So this is what it's all about for us. Valeria dropped it in the chat if you want to have a quick look at it. What we're using to trade, it's Prosper Pro, P Pro 8 with Day Trade the World.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're right. I keep saying 63 markets, but we just added Australia, so yeah, maybe.
There you go. Yeah, Australia.
Maybe a little different than that. So yeah, including the E-minis, CME, NYMEX. Neil's running through the numbers there. So yeah, daytradetheworld.com to check this out on the P Pro 8 platform. Also comes with full charting as well. So that's the charting that we're using here. Looking at Disney, just touched 104. We are long Disney 103.37. So that's a 70-cent winner there on Disney. So we drop our jaw a little bit. I don't know why. I mean, I can expect a 70-cent winner there on Disney all day long, but we are going to wait to see if there's more to come on this one, breaking through 104. I do kind of want the market to fall, though, because JP Morgan is the stock that I'm the most engaged in right now, my biggest spot right here as far as capital allocation is concerned. JP Morgan, we're going to see if it wants to fall back down. I really do hate this stock. Like I said, if anybody was trading, okay, Citigroup, we'll look at Citigroup in a minute as well. I do like that name, but the banks have just been so tough. Kevin knows, if he's on the chat today, which maybe he is, 850 people. BAC's been a good one. I don't know why I'm not revisiting that, but BAC, here comes CGC all the way back down. Look at these outs, bang, bang, in, out, out, out. We did get a bad wick down here. We're holding our last 10%. We'll see if it breaks through 1575. We're almost out of CGC, guys. Not much momentum to this name at all.
Yeah, I'm giving up on Smile Direct, and it's going to be a fail job for that one. And again, not risking more. The first trade we risked like 5 cents on, and then the second one we're risking less than 10. I just don't have the read. It just didn't want to break out. It's stuck in that little 20-cent range up and down through that 5-10. So not going to be fun for me. I am reloading something which has been good for us, which is make sure you trade more actively in the stocks you have a good read, where you have an edge. And it's been Codex for me. So I'm jumping back into this one in front of that 15, 25 to 30 that we talked about. So already got some shares at 15s. I want to be adding to it if I can, maybe at that price or even better in front of that 1530 top. We'll again take some out at the bottom end of the range here if it gets to that 1475 to 1480 that we took it all out accidentally before. So Codex for the 5th time short again. Brendan, what do you got, buddy?
Just watching the CYCC, guys, still 97% to the upside. We're back at 12. This thing got all the way up to 1950 almost. Pretty good example of a short squeeze here, I think. We haven't talked about that for quite some time. This thing, guys, has a 700,000 share free float. So only 700,000 shares in the free float. It's also about a $5 million market cap. So be very careful if you're having a look at that CYCC, guys.
Yeah, and you'll hear me talk about shorting these gappers, and you have to have, when one's halted several times on the way up, I have a very specific thing that I'm looking for, and it's going to be when it comes off of one of those reopens and then is immediately trading low in the lower band and holding around, holding a range below that price. I can give it a few cents or so, but it just didn't present that way this time. We opened up above that 17. We did consolidate because I was looking for an actual halt open lower to hold. I never got into this one. It was absolutely money short. It just didn't have the setup that's won for me in the past. So I'll use this information. I'll review this chart. I'm going to go over this one and see how I could maybe benefit from it in the future. It's very similar to some shorts that we've had profitably in the last few weeks. Just didn't have quite the exact setup that I was looking for. Missed opportunity, but not a missed learning opportunity there, guys. So we'll have this one and look at it in the rest of the day, at least for me, and see if we can't make money on one of these in the future.
Yeah, we're also averaging in right now to BAC. So we did take some short here at 22.95. I did say I'd go back to the well. I do like the movements in the banking sector. So that's not the reason why we're staying away from it. JP Morgan, of course, now is an 8-cent winner. We're short 93.94 here. So if we can get back into the 40s, that'd be fantastic, and we'll take some profits out there. I just did tweet away that we have Chris Vermillion coming from the Technical Traders. He'll be up in, I think it's 11:40 or 11:50.
11:50, I believe.
11:50 today, so Chris will be coming in about a half hour, so stay tuned for that. Very interesting guest. He'll be on for sure. See, there we go, Bank of America. So we go short here, 96, 95.50 actually. Take some 95s, take some 96s, and then we get back. Well, it just was 94, 93, but now we're back up. This is what we're talking about. You got to watch out for these levels, guys. I'm kind of just playing off this 23. We'll give it a little bit of a run past $23 here, but JP Morgan and BAC to the south side is what we're hoping for. The other stock that I have on is Disney right now. We are long that one. We're going to give this one, look, we're profitable on Disney. It's a nothing burger for me today. I wish we had, reined in a little bit more profit on this particular trade coming all the way back down. I did believe in the short. We missed the ultimate bottom here at 102.50. Before getting out of the last bit at 102.80. So I really feel like I missed 70 cents here, and it looks like we're going to do the same thing here. 104, I mean, how easy does it get, guys? Turns around on the high of the day, 104. We should have been able to short that, or not short it, but get out of our long there. So I feel like a little foolish that we missed that opportunity here on Disney.
Yeah, you know what? You talk about those banks, and I mentioned that little nickname, the Widowmaker, but the one for me to the short side has been typically Wells Fargo, so WFC. A couple of you guys were asking about that one in the chat, and I pull it up. And I see, look, you make that little top at 28.90. The futures start to roll over. You consolidate right here off that 28.50 level. Yeah, that feels like something you work into between 50s and 70s. Get that price, give it to the high. You're risking about 40 cents, maybe a little bit more than that. A VWAP retracement gives you 1.5 to 1. It's hard not to look at that. The financials have been beat up, the last couple of weeks, sort of dragging the markets to the downside. When tech was strong, financials were selling. As we roll over here, it does look like it's going to be an opportunity for me. So I don't know. Maybe this one's going to be the Widowmaker. We'll have to see. I'm jumping into this one. I'll add to it maybe in front of 70. One time here, we got 55s now. Don't want to get too heavy into this, but I like the setup.
Neil, you're all about the Widowmaker comments today, so
it's a shout out. I think Kevin made that one up, to be perfectly honest with you. Maybe Kevin, if you're on the chat, I'm pretty sure you're the one that came up with that one, but I think you were talking about JP Morgan more so than Wells. Yeah,
I would say so, because JP Morgan's been a Widowmaker for me for sure. My only negative stock of any kind of worry here is JP Morgan today. So yeah, we are averaging the BAC, looking for 20, just a little higher than 23 for it to kill us out here on this one. And yeah, the banks today have not been my friend, so we need to regroup and retrace on those ones. But BAC, JPM, CGC, and Disney is what I have on board right now. What's up, Valeria?
Hey guys, how are you doing out there? Hopefully your trading day is good, because our show is very close to the end. Well, subscribe to our channel and we'll see you tomorrow. We are live every day from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And of course, we are almost at 400 likes, guys. You make us so happy. Please, it shows us that what we do it for a reason, and you like it and enjoy it. Well, keep it up, and I'll see you later. Back to guys.
Thank you very much, Valeria. And look, it's a good time for me right now as the futures are sort of bouncing around the top end of the range. I'm going to review the position board. I just have 3 positions, and I find myself all short right now. So I just jumped into that WFC, and I'm going to put this up, and it's going to go over my face here. We'll see it in a second, guys. That's fine. Wells Fargo, we just grabbed this one at 28.58 on the short side. We still actually have TRNX at 43. Was unable to add more shares in front of 40, unfortunately, but that's continuing to work for us in the money. And then, of course, we got that Codex. I talked to you guys about this one. Reloading in front of 15.30. I got 15.17. So 3 shorts. As the market's nearing the top end of its range, I feel like I should still be back into Facebook at some point. I was looking for a pullback. Hasn't really given me one just yet.
Yeah, I've been getting a little bit out here. I am a little bit nervous on these banks there. Although, Neil, I mean, you're short WFC, right? And, and I'm short JP Morgan and BAC, so yikes. Me and Neil both hoping the financial system collapses right now, which is not going to happen right now. Okay, BAC, we're getting a little bit out. Remember, we're getting rebates all the time through here, so some of these trades that it looks like we're not making any money on, we're making small profits. We can't be spending $10 or $4 a trade here. I just got into BAC and I already have 8 fills. So JP Morgan, BAC, I'm still waiting, guys. I just want to give an update before we throw to Brendan. Disney is right here at that high again. So this time I actually have an order waiting to get out, 103.95. So we're almost there. Can we celebrate a clean 65 cents? Disney coming to the top side. I don't care. I'm going to hit the bullseye anyways, whether or not we get that or not. Disney, you can take it out right now if you do like that. But there it is, a 60+ penny winner there on Disney for you. What's up, Brendan?
Another little one, guys. Back to small cap world here. TGTX up 11%. Just took the highs of the day out. Looks like it was around $12.95 there, up to $13 on a bit of a volume spike. Another therapeutics company, guys. Big time strength today.
Yeah, trying to roll over here is Wells Fargo. It just can't get through that 28.50, and that's sort of the big level that once it breaks through there, you're looking for that VWAP retrace. I'm not taking anything out until we get at least close to it. Bit of a problem here on that Codex, and it's just one order that I think we have to work through. I just saw someone on the bid there at 15 even. Again, this is right around that VWAP, but aggressively loading back up. I will take some profit if we can in front of that 15, just so I have the opportunity to play inside the range. If it's going to hang out inside the range above 15 even and VWAP, then that makes that breakout at 15.30 a little bit more appealing. It also means that I want to have some profit taking in front if we can. So if it hangs out in this range, I'll try to take 10-15 cents at a time if we can, and then always have that out there at 15.30, guys. So you want a better average price in 15s if you're going to be doing that, working your price into the 20 to 25 range if that's going to be your approach, which I'm going to go ahead and do.
I did want to take back on CCL, which is another decent stock for us today off. This initial long was a problem. That's why we go light. This was at 9.25. Look at this. And again, another wick. So I got to watch out for my stops here. Okay, you can see here Disney. Talk about that in a minute. CCL now, I just want to talk about it because it's the top side here is $12.50 today. So yeah, I like that, but I do think this is not a horrible spot for a short, especially right now. It's creating some garbage up here. I'll put the stock a little bit bigger for you guys to see it. I'll put like a little circle here. This area is where we're working right now. The high is 50. This low down here, 35. So if we can break below this little X here, which is the bottom, 35, I don't mind taking CCL once again for a short, but it needs the market short with it. So if that doesn't come down, then I don't think it's going to go. The market is going to be leading some of these cruise lines. Look, we're only down now 1% on the day for Carnival. So yeah, CCL, AAL, I'll look at those ones. I know Neil was looking at, what was it, Royal Caribbean? RC? No, Norwegian.
No, we were looking at Norwegian a bit earlier, and you know, to be honest with you, we took one shot at it, and I was sort of mentioning, like, and this happened to me over in Oxy, where you have an out, and then you got to revisit that level sometimes. And we talked about that 12 even price area. You got a failed break through 12, and then you see a ton of support the first time it bounced off it. I mean, forget about the second time, but that first bounce off of that level. You get a break like that right off of the open, and that retest, a lot of times it's going to be good for you. Now, you take a bit of a hit, and there's other opportunities that we're making money on, and that's going to be the reason I didn't look back at this. But if you were fixated on one or two symbols, and then you get that little stop out, you're looking for either that breakout at that price right around 943 or that retest here, you know, right at 10 o'clock. So either one of those are good. My reason for not jumping into it is going to be if I take an initial hit on a name that I don't have the best read on, and I have 4 or 5 that are working out fantastically for me, I'm probably going to gravitate to expending more capital and more trades in those names that were profitable initially. So yes, that was a good opportunity for that price at 12 on Norwegian, but I had my good reason, I think, for not revisiting that stock.
Yeah, okay, yeah, good analysis there, and that's why we throw back to Neil as much as we can. 104.05 here, Disney breaks, we go a little longer. I actually forgot that we had a 104 price in there. You got to check your stop orders, but we go long 104 here. I don't know how much I really like this one. I thought it would have exploded through 104. Futures now trying to make new highs, so that makes sense why the S&P, why Disney went, is because the S&P also goes, but we're still hovering around this 28.50. I don't actually like this position too much anymore, so we'll see about getting out of Disney. Did not mean to get too much longer here at 104. Actually wanted to get out, as you guys know, so we will revisit this long. 104 right now. Our average price is 103.94 right now off this little punch through 104 on Disney. I don't love it though, guys.
Yeah, just watching that Codex, guys, and we're going to go again with a bit of an arrows down for this name. We've been basically heavily shorting this stock, but it's in a bit of a range here between 15 and that 15.30. So what we went ahead and did is took off some shares for about a 10-15 cent profit like I talked about, only about 40% of the position, but I want to give myself an opportunity to reload at a better price if we can in the 20 to 25 range if it wants to pull back. Hey, look, if it wants to fall off the earth and go back down to 1480, nothing wrong with that. We'll take the wins. I just wanted to expose myself to different types of trading in case it got range bound. It's past 11 o'clock, you can slow down. However, it just goes in the money for us. So we're going to go ahead and cheer that one off. As I'm talking, we get out at 91 there. So nice little 25-cent win. Still hanging on to 40% of this position. We'll get some out again in front of this 1480 level that we talked about. And then we're going to try and hold the rest for that home run we've been mentioning all morning long. We did get it one time at 14.30. I'd love to see it retest. Brendan, what do you got, buddy?
Well, tanker ship company here, NAT, guys, up about 10% on the day. Also, just made a new high on the day there on decent volume coming in. 450 in front of us here. Price for oil down sharply, but tanker companies that ship oil are higher. I'm going to wrap my head around that one, guys.
Yeah, well,
so this is... Yeah, no, it's a strange thing happening in oil. I think the spread is causing some interesting moves that are a little bit more difficult to read. And I think maybe for those of you, if you want to take a step back, if you're usually an energy trader, maybe it's a day to do some learning. I haven't really jumped back into Oxy after my first failed trade, so I was a one and done, and there's nothing wrong with that. Plenty of other places to make money, like a Codex here. As if I see you consistently asking that question. My answer to who can do more push-ups between the two of us is that Arun can do more than the two of us combined, and I'll leave it at that. Right now, I think it's time for our In Focus with Valeria.
Hey guys, welcome to In Focus. Quick news updates in case you missed. UK government announced 1.6 billion relief paycheck to support tech startups that are suffering now due to coronavirus outbreak. Good news for farmers that are making coffee at key coffee production regions. Since 2016, coffee price fell 30% below the average for a decade, but the last months, Arabica coffee price went up due to concerns over availability. United Airlines are going to sell 22 planes to Asian firm and lease them back. Company CEO also said that business essentially at 0% now. U.S. Democrats and Republicans announced another additional 370 billion paycheck. The talks to support small businesses. Talks about another 317 billion came after the previous paycheck for 349 billion ran out of money. The check would allow small businesses forgivable loans. That's all for today. Stay healthy and stay focused. Back to guys.
Thank you, Valeria. Yeah. Okay, we are short Boeing now. I just took that one short, breaking this little level here of 148.28. So we are now short Boeing, BA here on New York Stock Exchange. So you are going to see us talk about that a little bit, or at least me anyways, as we go. Now breaking back down. Futures still positive on the day. Boeing nasty a little bit. So we're going to give it all the way back to 149 or so, just before view up. We can actually give it all the way to the backside here of 149.30, but let's see what Boeing does to the downside here. Again, it's time of day, guys. It's 11:30. I don't think we're expecting, I'm not expecting, I know Neil's not, any well, I shouldn't speak for him, but we can go back in a minute. I don't expect any crazy moves happening unless we get something dropping, about some sort of a vaccine or something with coronavirus. But here we go to the downside. Boeing's starting to now get a little bit aggressive. It just does touch 148 before bouncing. Right now, our short guy guys. I like it. 148.20. Let's see what Boeing can do.
Yeah, you know, Sean, unless we break out of this 10-handle range we're sitting in the ES 45 to 80 to 55, and that's a 2800 handle that we're talking about, I don't think we're getting massive moves. If you guys are in that TRNX, I failed to get this reload that we talked about in front of 40. You can see my orders sort of sitting here lonely about half an hour ago that I put them in. But we're getting that push towards 36, as I mentioned over and over again. If you're playing this short trend, this is sort of the target that I've had all morning long. I took shares out in front of it. I think it's probably prudent if you're still sitting short to get some out for that profitability. It's a good return. You should have a price that's at least a 10% win if you're looking at that. You guys are asking about Shake Shack, and look, I talked about being patient. This is what you've basically been looking for. You get a bit of a top put in at 47.50. Now you get a push down. It's about $1 move. You're looking for some consolidation in between 46.25 here at that little bottom, and then this 46.86. It's a bigger range, but just try to think about it as a structured trade. View retracement's giving you $2 at this point, so hang with me. I do think if we can get a nice little move that fails to break 26.85 or 46.85 to 47, you can work a short in here. Once it does that failure, I wouldn't necessarily be adding to the break at 46. I'd want to make sure I get my price in that target range, and then you're riding this one down to 45, down into VWAP. Just don't let it break the top. You want to make sure the seller has come in. You don't want a secondary parabolic move. You don't want to get caught in a secondary squeeze. Have the structured trade. This is what we've been waiting for on Shack.
Yeah, Disney, I'm just double checking to make sure I don't get any of my stop orders in a problem here. And it looks like we'll be fine. Okay, just looking here at JP Morgan, we still are short this name as it's coming back downside here. So we got a couple decent winners on right now. Boeing, BAC, Disney, and JPM. We'll review them when we get back, I think, from Brendan.
Another one looking like a decent short opportunity here. Safety Group still up 25% on the day. They updated their Q1 guidance this morning, saying they expect to report higher revenue in the first quarter versus basically the rest of the market that has not done that. But looking a little bit heavy here, back at this 185, guys.
So we're finally cashing out of our BAC. We're up, well, not finally, we've been cashing out on this one, but I don't know how much movement we're going to get out of this market here, but we will take a little bit of a fade back down through 28.50. We cashed some out at 22.91, so we slap our face a little bit here because, we should have really been holding. Look at this 23 level. It's resisted here a couple times. We absorbed this up to 23.02. Not a big deal. Look, average. All of these purple locations here, indicators, I should say, are short sell arrows. So check the description below. It means we're borrowing stock in a hopes that the market goes down or the stock goes down. So here you have, in our situation, I'm short right now 97.8. So okay, so nice little average price here, and we just took some out 91, 92. So those are 7-8 penny winners on BAC. Not bad. Obviously, we want to get some more. We're not trading the typical retail type of traders. So you might say, oh well, how are you making money when you're only taking 7 penny winners? But again, like I said, if you're taking thousands of shares, it does add up. Even if you're taking hundreds of shares, whatever your main idea is, your risk parameters, that's what you have to trade with. That's what Neil and I trade with as well. We have certain stop limits that we have on our accounts as well. So we do have to trade somewhat aggressively, but at the same time, mindful of any risk spots that we have. We don't want to get called out for some stops today. So here we go. BAC takes them out at 91 here for a nice little win.
Yeah, and as you mentioned that, I want us to get down into the gates of hell when it comes to these bank stocks. But look, we finally broke this 28.50 on Wells, and I got 28.58 as an average price, or I talked about working a trade between 50 and 70. We end up with basically the average price we want. You kind of want something around 60 if that's what you're doing. We got 58, that's fine. Once we break lower, I probably think we need a rollover in the futures to help us out here. Maybe break that 28.45 handle that we've been watching. Maybe break down below 8,800. However, I do think we have a good chance to get that VWAP retrace. I want to take some shares off in front. That's going to be down here in the 30s and the 20s, and then look for a push down to 28 even. So looks like it's going to be a decent one, sliding slowly down in Wells Fargo. But the fact that it hasn't even tried to retest the top is a good sign for us here. I did jump into that Shake Shack, so you guys have been waiting for that short. We started it at 46.40. Like I always say, if you're looking for a blended price and you want to add into your position, if you can't get more, that just means it worked for you right away, and there's nothing wrong with that. So if I end up with only a third or half of what I actually wanted, that's fine. There's at least a couple of dollars worth of upside on a pullback here, on a low-end range pullback. That's down to VWAP and $2 to $2.50. So I'll take that all day long if we can get it on Shake. Waited patiently for this one, 11:30, finally got it.
Yeah, and I see Charlie Brown. Thanks for all your talk there about the show. Look, and I'm glad you're here for the first time. It's a trip for us, so I hope it is for you guys as well. Let's put up our board quickly here just to show you guys what we're dealing with. Like Neil, I'm pretty short the banks. So you got BA here, short, that's the day's low. That did go in the money, but we're not going to take that. We're going to wait for 149. So Boeing on the short side. BAC 22.98. You can see we are starting to go down here now on BAC. That's a 7-penny winner, so that's good. We're a little bit loaded up on that one. JP Morgan's only 3 cents, having the same problems as Neil is on WFC. They're not really moving. And Disney, we're stuck long. That's a profitable stock. We're small on that one. We didn't mean to go long 04s. And actually, why don't we come back here quickly and I'll just show you what we were doing on Disney. Remember when we were talking about getting long 04s there? I actually didn't mean to. We had a stop order in there that executed that we didn't want. So right away, out 90, out 81 there, out 71. So we're going to hold a little bit of this long. But Disney, when you get executed into something that perhaps you left a stop order or you're surprised that you take the trade, that's always a good sign to get out.
Absolutely, guys, and we just got both out of TRNX to end that trade in front of 36, but reversed into some Codex at 1530. That was the range that we're working with. This is why we take profits. So I'm going to quickly jump to you guys to be able to show you what happens here. We wanted to work out of some of those shares when it held that range. So we do so at 15 for a 10-15 cent winner on both those outs, and then we catch a 25-cent win at 1490. That allows us to lose less money when it breaks the top end of the range. It was looking a little bit more bullish, so we trim our position for profit and reverse long on that 1530 break. So for the first time of the day, I found myself long in Codex. Brendan, what do you got, bud?
Yeah, long in Codex. Wow, wow. Oh, wow. Look at the futures, guys. Starting to spike up here. So, yeah, we may want to get rid of some of our shares. What's up, Brendan?
Another little oil tanker here, guys. TK in New York, 9.5%. Also just breaking 2-day highs here on decent volume. Had a big volume spike at 350. We're now up to 360 on TK. Another one moving today, guys.
Okay, yeah, and we're getting some stocks moving against us here. We take out some BAC at this 23 level. I would love for this to break higher. Maybe we go long, but the long has its upside caps on BAC, I find. Maybe 23.10 might be the best you're going to get. So we're going to find out another stock. If we're going to take longs, I'd rather go something in a WFC or a JPM or a Citigroup, not in a BAC. So let's dump some of the shares we have and throw it over to Valeria for European close.
Hey guys, European market is closed for today and I wanted to update you on some numbers. Britain is up 0.1%, Germany is up 0.06%, France is up 0.17%, while Spain is down 1.04% and Russia down 0.4%. That's all for today and I'll keep you updated. Back to guys.
Thank you very much, Valeria. Just sort of structuring our trade over in both Codex, but also in Shake Shack, which we're in at 46.40, and I know you guys, a lot of you have been wanting to see where you can maybe short this one. It's been a massive parabolic move to the upside here through 47.50. This is the price that we're working with. Right now, 46.40 is my entry. As it works this range, I would have liked to have added maybe a little closer to 47. I don't know that I'm going to get that chance. So if I want a bigger position, I'm probably going to have to do it in between 46 and that 46.40 that I currently have. So we'll probably try and go ahead and do that. Our stop is not a hard stop at 47. It's an area stop. I want to see what happens when it tests it. But if you get this retracement, you're looking for a target down around 45 in VWAP. Certainly it can go more than that, but the structure of my trade when I do this is right in taking profit in front of that 45 even mark if we can do it. 46.40 to the downside here. If we get more shares, then you can maybe hold on to some, I think, in front of that 44 for that 2 to 250 ultimate target we talked about earlier.
I did want to remind and thank Davide and I think it was Robert Brown for the super chat tips today. So that's great. We can get Valeria a cappuccino here from Starbucks. So if we could find one open. I know there's one open at the hospital, but I don't think there's like 4 Starbucks within a 10-minute walk from us now. But of course, we know social distancing and all that is closed. So thank you for all of that, guys. All right, BAC now. We're still in that one. Ho-hum, sleepy. We get some out at 23. Then we come back here. We're short right now, 98 on BAC. The position that I really like, though, we should have got short more up here when that futures move happens. And thank you to Brendan. It was probably, I guess, on that State of New York there. A good post. If you're checking out our YouTube chat, you might as well see Brendan Wickens on there. Highlight him whenever he's on there. Total coronavirus hospitalizations, 16,000. So lower there from the day earlier. So that's a good little look. Hopefully we're turning the page on that one. I know it's early and I know that's not really a super accurate number, but hopefully we can get more tests in and come through that. Boeing, here's the short I was talking about, 148.20. It goes as low as 147.82. Maybe should have took that 50 cents. We'll wait. Park an order down there again. Get out of half for 50 cents if we could take it. I'm liking the average in here if we can get it. I'm just wondering, guys, does the futures turn around completely here on this coronavirus news? The market is, I mean, look, the only reason, in my opinion, I know there's others that have it. Shout out to our friend there, Mr. Potato Head, who trades on the floor. He thinks that it's also a possible sign of technical issues. I think this is coronavirus related. So obviously, as the market comes downside here, watch out for some of these pops as we get some coronavirus updates.
Yeah, I'm looking at that Codex, guys. We talked about that reversal at 15.30. I'm not going to add to this position. Obviously, I've been favoring the shorts all morning long, so it's not one of those things where I'm going to dig in to the long. But now that we have it, you're basically looking to hold either above VWAP. Again, I don't like stops at VWAP, so I'm actually putting mine above, probably in this 15.10 to 15 range. I don't want it to break. So again, if you have a bit of a bias, and I have a tiny bias to the short side here, I'll be less aggressive with my longs. I will have tighter stops with my longs. We've gone 4 for 4 with shorts. First long of the day. I'm not going to give it too much. I don't want to give away those profits. We did add in a shack here, and I kind of split the difference. I knew I wanted more shares, so what I did do is take some at 46 even to give myself a 46.20 price, but left some room here to maybe add back around that 46.50 if it wants to give us this. I love the consolidation lower. The fact that it's not retesting highs is a good sign for us on this retracement trade. Got about 10 minutes until we have a fantastic guest coming through, Chris Vermeulen, from Technical Traders. He's been awesome the last couple of times we've come on. We like to give you different perspectives. Sean and I are heavily trading equities. We'll have Arun on sometimes, and he trades the futures markets there. But for us, it's basically stock trading on a day trade standpoint. Whereas you can get a higher time frame with some of the guests that we'll bring on here. And I know some of you are asking for that. That's why we bring the heavy hitters, right, Sean?
That is why, yeah. I mean, we want it best for you guys. When the NYSE floor starts to reopen as well, we have traders down there on the floor. So shout out to Mark Roberts from Catone & Company, as well as Rosenblatt Securities hooking us up with some sales traders down there. And here goes Disney, guys, straight to the top side. Obviously, I wish we would still be long 104, but I was very nervous about this one. And thanks to Asif there, talking about us being world-class traders. Thank you for that. I don't know when Valeria will become one, but she's right beside me in between us. So maybe some of it will rub off there. But Valeria practices all day, and we'll see if she can hit some winners with us as well. But right now, 104 and change. We do get out at 103.90 there. Gave up on Disney, probably should have. Oh well, still positive on that stock today. So really just 3 shorts, man, and I'll give them to you. Here's JPM, 94 and change. We're waiting for that to come down. Anytime you see a tick like that, that's our short tick. BAC, we're short right here. We've been averaging into this one. It's not moving. This stock's putting me to sleep, so see a stock. And then the last one here is Boeing. We are short this one. I'm trying to get more shares, about 148.10, 148.50. If it does break down below this average spot here, 147.80, then we're going to be giddy up. Right now, I have an order parked, 147.90. Maybe we can, you know what? I'm going to cancel. I'm going to cancel that order. We cancel that. We're going to see if Boeing can't tick lower. We'll see, guys. We did have some bunch ups here, 147 even. We'll put an order down there. Maybe we can take a clean dollar. I do like it as I see Cuomo talking now. Hopefully he sees some negativity here for my shorts, but for the world, let's hope this coronavirus can get fixed.
Yeah, and sort of for me here, let's hope Shake Shack continues its move to the downside, guys. I mean, you wait all morning long for a bit of a pullback, and it's been a slow one. It's starting out pretty nicely here. Again, I let it fail. You can sit here and try and pick a top and say, yeah, but you could have had 47.50. Well, that's nice. If you tried that at 46.50, you probably got stopped out $1. If you tried it at 44, you got absolutely crushed as well. So for me, that's not going to be the name of the game. I wait patiently for it to actually make a consolidation lower, work into this position, 46.20. It's only in the money, about 30-40 cents or so right now. The big push will be down to 45. We'll take half off and then down to VWAP to see if we can get a bigger move there. It's a VWAP retracement type of play when you get a parabolic move up. I like that structure, but you just got to be patient. That's the name of the game. It's the only thing I have left on, with the exception of the Widowmaker, JP Morgan is sort of the Widowmaker for me, but it's shorting these banks. And Wells Fargo still had that 28.58 short, still in this range. Futures still testing those highs. It looks like it wants to roll over. It just hasn't really happened yet. So I still got the same stop at the high of the day. Hasn't made a move. We'll hang on to this one as long as our rule isn't broken. Brendan, what do you got?
NBY, that name we were looking at earlier on the short side, vaccine-related name here, still 87.5%, just coming back to life a little bit. Broke this little pivot at 140. Some volume coming in on the buy side once again for NBY, guys.
Yeah, NBY. Good name there. Yeah, I do see Chris getting ready to rock and roll. So Chris from the Technical Traders, follow us on Twitter and you'll see his handle as well. And I know Chris retweets some of the stuff that he's coming on and some of the ideas he has. So great job there. We'll be hitting him up very soon, guys. 5 minutes away from our interview and our guest of the day. Okay, JP Morgan's hovering around here. I just took off a third. I'm really tired of this stock. I'm not going to be sitting around here waiting all day for this market to crash.
Probably
because
smart.
It doesn't seem like it really wants to. My best position for a short right now that I like the most out of all of these, we are short BAC 23, we're short JP Morgan 94, but notice the even dollar levels there. This is the one I like the most here, BA. So a bunch of Bs today, BA, BABA, Bank of America. Ooh, BABA was my best trade, $2.50 winner we took on that one. Okay, yeah, here's Boeing. Would love to average in 148.50 or so right here before we take this out. Maybe 149 and change will be where we hold it to. I love this break, guys. 147.81, I'm gonna add to it if we break 147.81. I think as we bunch this down, we can get back into this pre-market level of 147 and change down here in the teens. So if we can break down below here, I do think the next stop is 147, and if you break it down even more, we were huge the last couple days up here in the 150s. Let's just see if we can get down here, break lower, and then revisit back down below 147. So I'm still waiting for you, Boeing. We'll take a little bit more shares. It's remember time of day too, 147.80. Maybe we'll talk to Chris about that. I know he's a little longer time frame, but you don't take too many trades, guys, around noon on a Monday. There's so much still to come this week. Maybe only worth it in oil names or some of the names that are running a little bit more than something like a Boeing or some of these bank names.
Yeah, you know, when you mentioned there, Sean, taking off your JP Morgan position, and I'm sitting here with Wells doing absolutely nothing. I'm going to stick with my stop, but I am sort of reassessing it given the time of day. I might not give it too much longer. I might go halfway towards the high, maybe just to tighten it up a little bit. So it's just Shake Shack that we're short 46.20. It's now 50 cents in the money. Again, I want more than this. You've seen how far Shack has moved to the upside. And, you know, as I throw up the chart here, if I see a stock has gone 41.50 to 47.50, I'm not looking to take 40 to 50 cents on a short. I'm certainly risking more than that when I short this name. I got to make sure that I take more than that. So with the structure of this trade, we are giving it close to $1 worth of risk. I need to see at least $1.50 to $2 in return. And as I say that, we're now 60 pennies in the money and continuing to fall. Let's get all the way back down here. I want a bear action in Shake Shack. We waited for you, and now we got this short on 60 cents in the money, looking for at least $1 to $1.50 for our first exit point.
Okay, Boeing shoots up right to the level we wanted it. So again, we're short, so it's not good when it goes against you. But we did be able to pick some up here, 148.58. I marketed it in when we got up there. So an average spot here, 21, then another average spot here at 58, putting our average price at 33. So we're going to wait to see if Boeing can come downside. We've been in and out of the money all day on this stock. Not all day, but since we've taken this, which is about a half hour ago. So we're going to wait to see if Boeing can now break. We did take that short, 148.58. That is now 20 plus pennies in the money. Like I said, Greg asking for YOLO trade. I really like this 147.80 break. If that breaks, it means the market's probably cracking as well. So you're going to have a nice short name here in Boeing on your side if that does break. But a good little in here, 148.60 on Boeing. Let's see, it does touch down to 28. I think we'll get some out in the teens here just to average down our product, our position here. But yeah, 148.20. I did hear in my ear there, though, that we are ready for our guest of the day. So let's throw it over to Brendan at the big desk with Chris.
Hey guys, yeah, great to have Christopher Mulliam back with us from the Technical Traders to talk a little bit about commodities today. We're going to cover gold, we're going to cover some oil charts as well. Obviously, oil, the big mover today, so it'll be great to get Chris's opinion on this big move down as we get this kind of crossover between contracts and huge spread between the two that's still, even to this minute, very prevalent. So great to have you back on the show with us today. Chris, let's jump right into things here. Let's talk first about gold. It's been an interesting move, to say the least, kind of back to the upside. Really not a lot behind it in the way of, velocity or volume, but it's kind of been a slow grind for gold. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, well, gold's been really the major safe haven, and it's rallied all the way up to our 100% measured move, which is around that 1,700 and change area, and it's broken through that. And so I think gold's going to hold up really well here. This is the time when gold miners should start to shine. And I don't know if you have any charts there, but there's some really interesting price patterns unfolding between what gold has done and what the gold miners, the large caps, are going to do. So yeah, there's a good chart of the GDX large cap gold miners, and they've been building this base for years. And really the distance, the height of the base is usually the good first major target for the upside potential. And they're testing this area. The daily chart looks phenomenal on the gold miners right now. GDX trading right under that blue resistance line, ready to pop and run. I think it's going to take the lead, outperform equities. So I really like it. There's a gold chart there showing what happens with leaders when they actually form this pattern. And gold has already popped and ran to that level.
Yeah, as we see that, kind of slow move up in the price for bullion as well, getting a nice response from the actual miners. It's been interesting though, Chris, and I'd love to get your opinion on this. Over this, extremely volatile period that we've had in equities, as you said, gold typically a safe haven. We've seen a bit of a disconnect this time as far as, the rush to gold. Anytime you see a big move down in the market in the past, kind of get a rush over to gold. That really hasn't been, the case this time.
Yeah, I think the big rush to gold, most of the energy was used up last year when it broke out of its base and had that run all the way up to that resistance level. I think that got most of the money into gold, and it hit a major resistance right when the virus hit. And there was so much panic selling in the equities market, it really forced liquidated margin calls on a lot of positions. And I think that's what really crashed gold and silver and gold miners as well. So I think it's struggling. It's used a lot of its energy. To me, the fresh money, the big opportunity is actually in the gold miners. I think gold's going to chop around. I think it's got a huge overhead resistance from 2011, 2012 top. The easy move here going forward is if GDXJ, the large caps, break out. That's when the big funds are going to start rolling in. That's when advisors are going to tell their clients, hey, gold miners are on the move, get in. So, the train is at the station for large cap gold stocks. And once it starts to leave, I think it's going to be a flurry. And that's going to be the hot sector over the next few weeks and couple months, I think.
So we obviously have the GDX and then the GDXJ, which covers more of the junior side of things. Why is it that you like the large caps?
I like the large caps simply because they are about to break into a full-out technical bull market. The juniors should perform percentage-wise really well, but big money will rotate into the bull market. I mean, when you look at the breakout on the gold chart, when it breaks, when something starts a new bull market, it runs and rips to the upside for months. Something still in a basing formation like the juniors, they get chopped around. They're a little more unpredictable. You want something that's in a clear pattern and the herd mentality is piling in and, funds are moving in. That's where I like to go. I mean, there's a great percentage per opportunity in the juniors, but really the easy, steady money, because I'm looking for consistent stability, is in the large caps.
And the reason I kind of specifically go to that, side is because, of the individual names involved in the bigger one versus the ones in the smaller one. Obviously, the easy way to do it, look at an ETF like GDX or GDXJ, it covers the entire group. You don't have to kind of pick and choose. But if you had to kind of, dig down to the individual names, is there one or two that you like that might be good on the long side as well?
I don't really dig into the juniors too much or even the gold stocks. I mean, I think the better plays, without naming really any, because I don't follow them too closely, but the ones that get royalties and have a basket of multiple companies that they get royalties from, those ones have always seemed to perform the best and are really the most diversified of the gold miners. So they get a piece of the pie, and as the pie becomes more valuable, I mean, it really can take off. And not only that, but the shares that those companies hold as part of their asset really take off too. So not so much the individual little companies, but I like the ones that kind of conglomerate everything and get royalties on multiple mines.
Great stuff. Let's shift gears here a little bit, Chris. We'll jump over to the oil market. Obviously, the big topic of the day. I mean, we come in this morning and, the May contract has an 11 handle in front of it versus 22 on the June contract. What are your thoughts overall, first off, on oil itself and then some of the individual names?
Yeah, I think oil is putting in a significant low here. The last time I was on the show, I pulled up a chart and I showed you the downside is 17-14 range. And then the analysis last week, I reposted. It looked like it was 11 in the $12 range for a breakdown. And Friday, crude started to break down. Today, we've hit both of those targets. We've actually blown right past them. So we're getting into a capitulation, I think, a washout low in crude where there's just absolutely no demand. No one wants to hold or buy oil. And so the bottom's falling out. Volume really, I mean, it doesn't seem too big today. The continuous contracts don't really show the full volume, but overall, the energy stock sector is starting to show signs, which the last time we talked, it's looking promising that the big money's seeing a bottom in crude here, and there's really going to be only upside potential, but it still may struggle down here for quite some time.
Yeah, let's jump into some of the individual stocks now as far as the energy group is concerned. You mentioned XLE as far as the ETF that you like to watch to kind of cover this group, down significantly today, obviously, with the price for crude. Talk to us about XLE.
I like XLE. I mean, it's kind of a leading indicator for crude oil. Typically, you'll see the energy sector stocks lead the price of the underlying commodity. And that's what we've been seeing. You look at crude oil, it's been trading sideways for a month, and now it broke down, where the energy stocks have actually been trading higher with a series of nice bull flags on the daily chart. So it still looks primed and ready. I mean, they haven't broken out yet. They've got that red resistance line to clear. And once they break that, we should see expansion. We should see money pile in. And I think when that starts to break out, I think that'll be when crude oil is bottoming. And crude could still be trading at this price or even lower at that point. I think money's starting to rotate into these energy stocks, knowing that once everyone feels that crude has bottomed, everyone else is going to pile into this sector. So I think we're starting to see that money. You can see that big green bar from Friday. Oil was down 8%. Energy stocks were up 8%. So there's definitely a disconnect, and that's always a red flag for an opportunity.
We mentioned briefly before we came on, you like to look at a little bit of a higher time frame. When it comes to both the gold sector, as we covered, and now oil as well, what kind of a time frame would you look at as a potential trade in either of these groups?
Well, the patterns I'm looking at there are on the daily chart, but I actually follow the 30-minute chart for pretty much all the trading I do. It really gives you a nice view. You can zoom out several weeks on the chart. You can go up months even and squish the chart in, but you get to still see big patterns along with smaller patterns. It allows you to really do a lot of analysis and get a feel for how big the next push is going to be, or the next pullback, or how long a pause is going to be, right down to within a few time frames of an hour or so for certain patterns, or is it going to take 2 or 3 days? I like the swing trade in the market moves that really take place over a 1 to 7 day period. I find those are really accurate, and it gives you some action in the market. But those crude oil trade, and I think like the gold miners trade, I think they're going to run and last for several weeks once those start to break out.
A nice recovery overall in equities today. Just real quick before we let you go here, Chris, we'll get your thoughts on the overall market. Obviously, a decent recovery off the lows that we saw when we came in this morning. What do you think happens here for the rest of the week?
I'm hoping they're going to continue to go higher. I mean, we got long this rally. We've been trimming off on the gains on Friday, and I've been watching your show, so I got hooked back into doing some day trading in the morning, and I just love it. And Friday's short squeeze was unbelievable. I had a couple of friends. We were doing a live screen share and trading, and I mean the moves on Friday in the afternoon for futures or the SP 500 were just incredible. I think we're going to go higher. I think there's 3% to the upside still left in the SP 500. If we can break above about a 3% gain, the next level will be about 10% from where we are. So I still like it. There's still lots of upside, but I think it's going to become a rougher ride, and I think other assets could start to pick up the slack, like the precious metal miner stocks, if they can break out.
Great information as always. We won't keep you, Chris. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Stay well, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Brandon.
There you go, guys. Chris Vermeulen from the Technical Traders. Head over and check out their website. He's all over Twitter as well. So great follow if you're looking for one on the technical side. A little bit of a higher time frame, but it's always good to have a look at asset classes. He talked a lot about some ETFs there and key levels for both gold, the gold miners, and oil. So great stuff as always from Chris. Let's go back to the guys.
You know, that's why I was so confident telling you guys, make sure you tune in. Chris was going to be fantastic talking about higher time frames and other securities that we're not necessarily looking at, or assets that we're not always heavily trading on the show. And it's nice to see we have a bit of a convert. He's doing some day trading himself. Look, when the opportunity is there, it's hard to not dive in when you're a trader. We dream for these types of opportunities. We dream for these types of markets. So this is what it's all about. We only got about a minute or so to go before we jump off here. So all I'm going to do is review a couple of my positions. So I just have two shorts, guys. Still got that short in WFC.
Yep.
And look, it hasn't broken that top. So I'm going to continue to work with this one. You know, it needs to break 28.50 and get that VWAP retrace, but I've slid my stop to the midpoint here at 75. So I'm going to tighten it up a little bit as we're having trouble rolling over. And I got that shack short at 46.20, continuing to be about 50 to 60 cents in the money, sometimes going back to flat. I'm looking for that VWAP retrace again there, Sean. What do you have on right now?
I just now, I can't believe I'm getting into positions as we speak. Just took Square long here, breaking close to the high of the day here. So we got Square long side. We'll hold that for as long as we can. I am getting out of some BAC. I just took some out 92s on this little drop down. That's sort of where we're resisting from, off of a short 98. You guys know we have Boeing short as well. It did break through 149. We got out of a little bit there. Thank God we got out at a decent price. But then I retake the short on this break. And now, here we go. So we cry a little bit on that Boeing out there, but now we're back in the money 1, 2, 3 times. We take 1/3 out, still got 2/3, holding this for a 55, 60, 70 pen winning as we go. So yeah, it's been Square to the, okay, here goes Square. Square to the long side, we're long at 40. We'll see if it breaks through 50. Everything else is short side, man. Boeing, BAC, and JPM.
Brendan, what do you got, bud?
Yeah, I mean, it's 12 o'clock, guys. Let's have a look at what is coming up both after market today and before the open tomorrow. On the earnings calendar, we mentioned a huge week, guys, to say the least, when it comes to earnings. Wow, yeah, take your pick in that mess.
IBM, I mean, I like IBM. That's been beat down for a while. We love the cloud space there, that's for sure.
We got Coca-Cola going to be coming through, so that's another big one. I mean, you want to stick to, I think, the bigger names, right, Sean? Stick to what's working for you first and foremost, but then look at some of the better names. Like Philip Morris will be in there. Maybe we'll have a look at that one. But I think you're right. You got to focus in on IBM. That should be big.
Yeah, I see Coca-Cola there as well. Yeah. So yeah, there's a couple big names for sure. Square goes up. We get in here 41, out here 58 or so. So we're going to see if Square can't keep running to the top side. Looks like this will be a decent trade, and as we catapult our net higher. Here comes Boeing. We are short right now, 148.63. But it's been such a fantastic day. I don't know if we're ready for what kind of a day it is, but I know Valeria has a pretty funny little logo or a little graphic here. Why don't we throw to that?
Hey guys, first of all, thank you very much for all of your likes and supports. We reached 400 likes today. It's absolutely a record for us. It shows us that you really enjoy what we do, and we'll be trying to do that better. So stay tuned, subscribe for our channel, and we see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And yeah, guys, usually I say what national day is today, but I found out a very relevant and sad and funny at the same time meme, so I want to show it to you. 1 barrel of oil is cheaper than a package of toilet paper now.
That's pretty sad there. Especially a 48-pack, not a bad deal there, $12.99.
Commodities, guys, commodities. We got to get our commodities.
Yeah, it's sad state, but you're right, Valeria, there. Thanks for bringing that up to our attention. That's the current May contract, and we're going to see what happens after that expires, and it should be a funny ride here for oil over the next couple days.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, Sean. We'll see what happens after expiration. I think the forward contract was at 22.80 or so when I was looking at it a couple of seconds ago. Look, it's been a fantastic show. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I was away for a couple of days. Arun did a fantastic job filling in and talking about the futures. And I think we have him coming in for a bit of a hit tomorrow morning. So make sure you tune in at 9 a.m. pre-market when we talk about the levels, the stocks that we're watching, some levels in the futures as well. As always, big shout out and thanks to our guest of the day, Chris Vermeulen, coming through Technical Traders, doing a fantastic job there. I'm going to go through the entire team here, as always, to thank everybody. Valeria doing a fantastic job on the chat, and with cryptos that are in focus as always. And Sean over there in the corner doing our distancing. And for our good friend Brennan Wickens at the desk, as professional as always. Where's Brennan? I don't know. Give a wave there, Brennan. And to myself, as always, Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is tradertv.live, and we will see you tomorrow.
See ya.